Get matched with your perfect bed and save up to $700 on a wide selection of quality mattresses. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. See store for details. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. From AccuWeather, here's Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy and breezy, the high 53. Periods of rain, breezy for tonight, low 50. Clouds, a stray shower, breezy day tomorrow, the high 53. Plenty of sunshine on Friday, the high Friday afternoon, 56. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
41 and cloudy at O'Hare, 40 at Midway, 38 in Aurora, 44 Lakefront. Your next news update is 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Wow. Are you buying or are you selling? As this is being written, silver is up more than 50% in just the past 8 months. And gold is the highest it's ever been. Whether you are just getting into the metals, want to roll your IRA into silver or gold, or want to take some profits off the table, Fox Valley Coins is ready, willing, and able to help. Even though Fox Valley Coins is a national dealer, they're family-owned and in your own backyard. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville almost always has the product you want in stock and pretty much always has the best pricing when you buy or sell. Buying or selling is easy. Bring your items in. We'll establish the price and pay you cash or check on the spot. Don't wait until the end of the year to move your assets around. Did you know that Fox Valley Coins has sold over 3,000 1-ounce silver Donald Trump coins? We have several designs, but they're going fast. Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Naperville. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world, one life at a time.
My husband's a retired cop, and I worked in a hospital for years. I'm going out right now because I'm getting ready to paint my fence. It's just literally amazing. And, you know, you watch the TV articles, you go, yeah. Well, at least it's 100% returnable if it doesn't work. I'm not kidding you. It is the most amazing product I've ever taken.
Oh, I have a friend, Julia, who has taken a Balance of Nature now for quite some time. And she said, oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature. So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, oh, try it.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first preferred set. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
This is David Hochberg with an emergency mortgage alert. If you're purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. It finally happened. After 30 long and excruciating months, Fed Chair Powell just lowered interest rates a half a point, which means credit cards, car and home equity loans will be lower and less expensive. Most importantly, mortgage rates have dropped to their lowest levels since last February. The past 3 years have knocked out over 60% of our competition, who are back in the mall spinning pretzels and folding underpants. Team Hochberg's weathered the storm and is ready to help you, your friends, and family reduce your rate and monthly payments. If your interest rate is 7 or above, call Team Hochberg now. Not when you get home, not tomorrow, now for a complimentary mortgage review. 855-563-2843 or 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Listen this Sunday for inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Your local State Farm agent Anthony DeGrotto combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. You can combine your home, auto, and life insurance to not only save you money, but give you the peace of mind you've been looking for. Anthony DeGrotto is your go-to agent in Chicagoland. He and his team will work for you to provide the best service you expect at the price you want. Combine your home, auto, and life insurance today. Anthony DeGrotto will help you mix and match things perfectly. His State Farm office is a top pick 2024 Daily Herald Reader's Choice Award winner. He's a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers and like-minded as you. His State Farm agency is currently looking to add members at their Roselle office. Call Anthony at 847-895-1500 today or visit DeGrottoSF.com. That's DeGrottoSF.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready for the next step, visit SurroundChicago.com right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Visit SurroundChicago.com today.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So I had Chris Whalen, regular on the show, on my podcast this week for Am Greatness, which you can check out. Extended Chris Whalen. He's a very bright guy, an interesting thinker, so it's worth a fuller airing than we're often able to allow him to provide on this show. Anyway, one of the things that he said was there's a Republican opportunity, Trump administration on down, with this shift and arguably realignment across the country, most of the country, for Republicans to take the mantle of rejuvenating America's big blue cities. You don't just want to watch Chicago and New York and L.A. and Baltimore and so on and so forth decay. It just throws off all sorts of social ills. So if you could do something about it and you could get cooperation with the local leadership as well as their underlying constituencies, then you should try to do that. Worry more about what's happening to big city America in terms of the disintegration and how that radiates to regional urban areas than, say, what Jay Powell is doing with his Keynesian gambits over at the Fed. Well, we have a tale of two mayors to that point. Very interesting to see the reactions from Brandon Johnson, BLM Brandon, our very own, as compared to Eric Adams in New York City. And since the second city, we here in this rather parochial metropolis with a little bit of an inferiority complex as it pertains to the coasts. It's something, at least when Ed Burke was in his ascendancy, if there was some policy proposed in New York or L.A., you could bet that 5 minutes later Ed Burke would be proposing it for Chicago. That's sort of what I mean.
Yeah, because if it was good for New York and L.A., it must work here in Chicago.
Well, that's no longer the case. I mean, it's not working anywhere, but to the extent that there are pivots happening, even gradually, they don't seem to be adopted any longer in Chicago. So Eric Adams continues his move away from certainly the open borders, sanctuary city posture of the left. Not formally. He's not saying it explicitly, but what he is not saying explicitly, what he's implying, cannot be missed. Asked about it again, given the expected Trump administration posture to sanctuary cities. Here's Eric Adams.
And as you communicate with President-elect Trump and have communicated with him, will you express concern about mass deportations in the city?
My concern is one concern, and we keep tinkering around the edges. We keep having this philosophical conversation about it. The voters communicated loudly and clearly. We have a broken immigration system. It needs to be fixed. That's the only conversation I want. It's broken. It needs to be fixed. And New York City was devastated by that broken system. 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers have made their way here. No financial assistance from the administration. I think it was about $200 and something million with billions of dollars we had to pay for. I don't want to see that happen again. I don't want what's taking place in Chicago, in Denver, Los Angeles, Houston. I don't want to see it take place again. Let's fix our immigration system. Anything other than that, I'm not interested in that conversation. We have a broken system. I talked about this in 2022, just as I talked about violence in 2021, and voters made this the top of their list. The top of their list. When I was talking about it, everyone was being dismissive of me, and voters said, this is a problem. And if we don't have a conversation about fixing the system, everything else is just being philosophical and theoretical, and I'm just not going to engage in that. Let's fix the system.
Okay. I'd like a follow-up question there, specifically with respect to the NYPD. Or is the NYPD going to be cooperative with ICE?
Right.
Going to be cooperative with federal law enforcement, specific to this issue of deportation, basically. So we need a little bit more specifics from Eric Adams, but the direction is unmistakable.
Well, that question was asked here in Chicago yesterday.
Yeah, and Brandon Johnson had a very different answer.
Oh,
to ask our police departments, not just in Chicago and the state of Illinois, but across America, to do more and more. It's just not sustainable. Our police department will not dub as ICE agents. That's just, we're not going to do that. And it's a dangerous precedent where members of communities begin to feel unsafe with their local police department, right? We're already working to restore confidence and trust in our local police department. The last thing we need is members of community feel like they can experience a raid from a local police department on behalf of the tyrant.
Raid from a local police department on behalf of a tyrant. So that's a much different posture that BLM Brandon is taking from Eric Adams, isn't it?
Yeah, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You could also text us. But, of course, he brought race into it, Dan. Do you guys know out there that Mayor Johnson is black?
His threat is not just towards new arrivals and undocumented families. His threats are also against black families. He has a vision to destroy public education. Public education at the expense of the state, after all, is a Negro idea. Those are the words of W.B. Du Bois. So when he talks about Project 2025 and dismantling public education, we're talking about a system that has been designed to create leveling opportunities for families who are descendants of slaves. He's also threatening the Department of the Environment. We restore the Department of the Environment. With global population shift and climate change that's happening all over the planet, we're going to stand up and protect our environment. We're going to stand up and we're going to protect undocumented individuals. We're going to protect black folks, brown folks, Asian folks. Listen, the anti-sentiment that exists in this political space right now is unconscionable and it's dangerous. Whether it's anti-black or anti-Semitic, we're going to protect people and we're going to invest in people. The city of Chicago will be better, stronger, and safer despite who's in the White House.
Hi, Mayor. A few revenue proposals that have been thrown around.
First, that's W.E.B. Du Bois to you, BLM Brandon, not W.B. Secondly, I noticed that honkies are not on that list of people that are going to be protected. Third, going back to his characterization of Trump as a tyrant, and we need to restore the confidence, or we're busily restoring the confidence and trust that people have in the police department. That's a false premise that he uses to justify sanctuary city designation, that he uses to justify open borders. Just as is a false premise his idea that anybody is asking Chicago police officers to dub as ICE agents.
Right.
No, the reality is that all the feds want is cooperation. Don't run interference for people in this country illegally who have detainers on them. Work with us. That's number one. Number two, if you actually look at the public opinion surveys on, say, police versus any other institution in Chicago, including the mayor's office, there is much confidence among the larger Chicago population with respect to the police department. And in fact, like everywhere else, those majority-minority neighborhoods that suffer a disproportionate amount of the violent crime want more police presence, not less. So whatever issues there are with police, and there are, and there always will be, and nobody's suggesting they be ignored, the population has much more confidence in police than they do Brandon Johnson or any other politician. But for some reason, nobody can communicate these ideas in the city of Chicago with much clarity. Occasionally, Ray Lopez or Silvana Tabarez does, but just not sustained. And so BLM Brandon gets away with sort of the pontificating. That needs to be challenged at every turn. And it just isn't in Chicago. Michael, Southside.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy. Thank you both for taking my call. I listened to the press conference yesterday, and my jaw dropped when Brandon Johnson linked blacks from the Great Migration with illegal immigrants. I thought that was just terrible.
Well, that's another good observation. Thanks for the call, Michael. The idea that Trump wants to destroy government education. Well, he's too late in Chicago because people like Brandon Johnson have already gotten there.
We've already done it to ourselves.
Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for Townhall.com. There are many reasons to celebrate Donald Trump's victory, but perhaps none greater than this. It marks the end of the Obama era. We've heard a lot about norms in recent years. No one broke a bigger norm than Obama in 2016. Rather than leaving the nation's capital like every other president, he stayed in D.C. and effectively established himself as a shadow president. He knew Russiagate was a hoax, and yet he quietly encouraged it. And even in the waning days of the last presidential campaign, Obama was peddling the discredited Very Fine People hoax, deliberately lying about what Trump said about the Charlottesville protests. Barack Obama's presidency ushered in an era of hard-left politics and racial division that's left our country more bitter and more divided. Trump's win was a repudiation of him and what he stands for. It's about time. I'm Carol Platt-Liebau.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
5:38, we'll discuss the big announcements in terms of the additions to Trump's cabinet, CIA Director, Department of Defense, in particular, 5:38.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
41 degrees at 5:32. President Biden and President-elect Trump scheduled to meet at the White House today. The two will sit down together in the Oval Office after Trump's victory. Their meeting follows a flurry of Trump picks to fill the upcoming and incoming administration. Senate Republicans are poised to select their new leader today. South Dakota's John Thune, Texas's John Cornyn, and Florida's Rick Scott vying to be the party leader in the upper chamber. Meantime, Republican Speaker Mike Johnson is beginning the hard fight to retain his gavel. The first test will come up today during internal House Republican leadership elections. Johnson says they have a lot of work to do.
We have to fix everything. I told President Trump many times, and we've all discussed, we believe we could be the most consequential Congress of the modern era, and he the most consequential president, because we quite literally have to fix almost every metric of public policy. Everything is a mess. Everything.
He will need majority support of the full House, 218 votes or more, to actually take hold of the gavel January 3rd. The FAA is hitting the pause button on all U.S. flights to Haiti for 30 days after 3 flights were hit by gunfire while landing in the country this week. Troubling wanted posters have been popping up on the University of Rochester campus in Rochester, New York, alarming many there as several of the posters feature Jewish faculty members. Posters claim certain university professors and staffers are wanted for made-up war crimes, all related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Well, you may have used the company 23andMe for genetic testing over the past several years. Today, it's cutting 40% of its workforce. That's about 200 jobs. And the company is warning this morning there is substantial doubt about its ability to keep operating. 2 people were killed from a shooting in Chinatown Tuesday night. Chicago police are investigating the shooting, which took place around 10 p.m. in the 2400 block of South Normal. 1 victim pronounced dead on the scene. A second victim found with a gunshot wound to the shoulder, who later died. A man was killed in a fire in a Woodstock apartment building Tuesday night. Woodstock Fire Rescue says they responded around 10:15 to a fire in the 700 block of St. John's Road. They arrived to find heavy fire coming from the 2-story complex. A key prosecution witness will return to the stand today in the racketeering trial of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. Here's AM 560's Jim Telemonte covering the trial at the Dirksen Federal Building.
Former ComEd executive Fidel Marquez agreed to wiretap conversations as part of a deal with government investigators. Marquez was convicted of bribery in 2020. In a recording from May of 2018, Marquez asked co-defendant Michael McLean about extending a project labor agreement with subcontractors before a new ComEd CEO took over.
I'd like to extend that, but I'd like to understand what our friend's wishes are. I don't want to do it without him giving the nod. Good move.
McLean defense attorney Patrick Cotter questioned Marquez about job referrals and legislation that affected ComEd. Madigan's defense attorneys are slated to cross-examine Marquez once Cotter is finished. I'm Jim Telemonte.
The Bulls will try to get back in the win column tonight, visiting the Knicks at MSG. The Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron yesterday. College hoops, Northwestern earns a win over UIC. Also, Illinois State a victory over Ohio. Number 20 Fighting Illini look to stay undefeated when they host Oakland at Assembly Hall tonight. The news a service of Turnkey.pro. For less than the price of a monthly car payment, Turnkey will fully protect your network with up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, and real-time threat hunting. Protect your small business today. Visit Turnkey.pro today. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
German pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer joined a deadly plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler during World War II. And now his story of risking his life to save others is coming to theaters November 22nd. Win a trip to New York to meet Bonhoeffer scholar Eric Metaxas and see a Broadway show by entering today at 560theanswer.com/NYC. That's 560theanswer.com/NYC. And get your tickets today to see Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Spy, Assassin in theaters November 22nd.
As a business owner, do you have a strategy for exiting your business? Most business owners don't. Studies done by the Exit Planning Institute show 75% of business owners who don't have an exit plan are dissatisfied with their exit, and 80% of businesses put to market never sell. Total Clarity Wealth Management understands the hesitation to discuss exiting. Will customers leave? Will competitors take advantage? Will key employees leave? That's why they offer confidential planning. Contact Anne Marie at Total Clarity Wealth Management. Discover what the financial foundation should be to pursue an exit that is satisfying. At some point, you are going to leave your business. Will it be on your terms? Total Clarity can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Anne Marie is a certified exit planning advisor. Visit TotalClarityBusiness.com. That's TotalClarityBusiness.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. There are limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
5:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. A service of Valdecast Windows for the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality, professional-level window replacement service. Contact Valdecast Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella-certified contractor. Visit Valdecast.com. Ike inbound right now. Delayed between Manheim and Des Plaines Avenue. Dan Ryan Express lanes jammed up 33rd into the Stevenson. And already this morning, the Bishop Ford slowing up Stony Island into the Ryan Merge, and major construction delays. A right lane block eastbound 8094 between I-65 and Clay. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy and breezy today, a high 53. Currently 41. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, Sundays noon to 1. Learn more online at mwmfinancial.tax.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only.
And Amy, several big announcements yesterday as it pertains to the Trump administration. But by far the biggest, we'll get to all of them.
Yeah.
By far the biggest.
Which one?
It came from Kifnis. Kifnis tweeted out, or X'd out, I will perform Eating the Cats at the inauguration ball on the condition that the performance fee goes to the SPCA in Springfield, Ohio. Do it.
Oh.
In Springfield.
Oh, no.
They're eating the dogs.
Sing it all day.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats.
Could you imagine this?
Oh my God.
inauguration?
No, I couldn't.
This would be awesome. Even if it's like the private, like one of the private balls or something like that, you have to get Kifnis. This needs to be, sort of crowdsourced and make sure this gets to the decision makers for the lineup for the inauguration. Kifnis there. I mean, seriously, what a shot across the bow to all of the cultural mavens to have Kifnis there and have the proceeds go to ASPCA. Great. I mean, that's to me. I mean, the comeuppance there. It would
love
be.
This guy. And you
I
love
mean,
this song.
I can't even put it into words how remarkable an occurrence like that would be.
Well, each state has a little party. Well, not a little party. Have you ever been to inauguration? Each
Yes.
state, yeah, and maybe the
Every
state of
state
Ohio,
has their own ball.
right? They have
Yeah.
their own ball. And he could perform it.
No, but this needs to be on a national stage. Everybody needs to know about this and needs to hear it. And let's have a little fun at the left's expense. Since it is such a serious issue and so much damage and destruction has been caused by the left, let's find a little bit of levity in this moment until Trump and team can get to the arduous task of actually closing the borders and deporting people who shouldn't be in this country, particularly convicted violent criminals and so forth. Let's have a little levity. I mean, that's what the inauguration is for. It's supposed to be a party.
Right. Okay.
It's no party without Kifnis. Not after this election cycle. That's what I say. All right. And by the way, we'll take other suggestions for the entertainers, the lineup of entertainers. Probably not going to get the same fees that the entertainers who endorsed Kamala got, but nonetheless, and there's obvious ones. You'd like to see the Nuge there.
Oh, yeah.
For example.
He'll be there. Kid Rock, for sure.
Kid Rock is a good one. So, anyway, we'll take suggestions there, but Kifnis has to be at the top of that list. 312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer and text line.
Now, is it true? I hate to put you on the spot here, and I know that you're deep in the Hollywood scene. That Beyonce was paid $10 million to show up for that Harris rally in Houston?
I don't think so.
And she didn't even perform. I just think that things are getting blown out of proportion a little bit.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of the FEC disclosures of Kamala campaign spending. I don't see, unless it was buried in sort of a generic, unless it was buried in a generic payment to one of the media buying vendors, and then it was a pass through to Beyonce or Oprah or Lizzo or Megan Thee Stallion or whoever. I don't know. But I don't know why we spend so much time obsessing about it. I mean, I think this is another opportunity for levity. Some wag said, boy, it's at this stage in her life, it's sort of surprising that Oprah couldn't forego $1 million to go after Hitler. Right? They got to. Well, I'll go after Hitler, but I got to get paid to do it. But wait, how does that make sense? This is a moral imperative and so forth.
Well, the $1 million.
That's the way you got to take it.
I'm sorry for interrupting. The $1 million was to Harpo Productions, which is Oprah spelled backwards, by the way.
Yes.
To put on, to build the set, the lighting, the crew, to get that whole thing together for their town hall.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, if that's how they want to, in part, fritter away $1 billion. I mean, that was private money that was raised. Okay, you want to that Call Me Daddy podcast? They spent $250,000 to build a set for that podcast interview.
Do you know that they first built the set at a hotel room in Vegas, and then she never made it because of the hurricane? So then they had to break that set down, and then they moved it to D.C.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a choice she made, and she got what? Not even $872,000, and Trump goes on Rogan and gets $42 million.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a very poorly run campaign, and they're so out of touch. People don't care about Oprah anymore. I'm sorry, she had her time in the sun.
I can't even bring myself these celebrities and this money that was spent on it. I mean, it's private money. Again, rich people want to be spendthrifts in the direction of other rich people and celebrities and so forth. I'm a free country, whatever. Okay.
Well, who's taking a break is George Clooney. He's getting out of politics for a while. because he feels he's being wrongly accused for the Harris loss.
Great. Well, he and Alan Lichtman can vacation in Cabo together. I really don't care about either of them either. But I do care about rounding out the Trump cabinet.
Yeah, he's not
key
wasting any
positions.
time.
And, of course, the what is going to be perhaps the most controversial pick of all, particularly because of the importance of the job, is Fox News' Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. And wondering what people's reaction is. We talked a little bit about Kristi Noem seeming to be a little bit of a square peg in a round hole for DHS Secretary. I think there's a lot more head scratching going on about Pete Hegseth than even Kristi Noem. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line.
Well, Kristi Noem, and I'm supportive of women. Let me get that, out there.
Oh, gosh.
And, well, people, why nobody wants a woman? What's wrong with her? And I said, if you're DHS, you're not only in charge of Secret Service and the border, you're also in charge of FEMA. I mean, it's a big deal.
Well, this has nothing to do with being a woman. Kristen Nielsen was Department of Homeland Security in Trump's first term. We don't need qualifiers. We don't need to talk about somebody's gender or race. That's what the left does. This has nothing to do with the discussion among sensible people. This is all about competency, experience, vision.
Okay.
And
you think she's up for the job?
And importantly, alignment with Trump. I mean, remember, these are political appointees. We have to keep this in mind. They're political appointees, and Trump has been going back to Hegseth. Trump, I'm sure, feels burned by the generals. Well, we know he feels burned by the generals because one of the other announcements was to create a board to potentially purge generals that are more engaged in identity politics inside the armed services, as opposed to making sure that we are making sure that preparedness and cohesion are the orders of the day. So, Mattis and Kelly and others, I'm sure informed his decision to do something clearly out of the box in the selection of Hegseth for DOD. Now, this is not to in any way denigrate Hegseth, that he is a decorated combat veteran. Right. And he certainly, has the drop on what has gone awry in the armed services. This is Hegseth on Sean Ryan's podcast a while back. Sean Ryan, Navy SEAL. Here's what Hegseth had to say about wokeness in the military.
There's a chance to course correct it, but it would take a new Trump administration going after it really hard.
How would they correct it?
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke, it's got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it, and that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
And that's a fine distillation of the cultural degradation that has occurred in the armed services. But does that mean he's the best person, thinking about all the boxes, including the political alignment one, the best person for that job? Is he somebody who is going to inspire confidence? He has the chops to lead, number one, and to also sort of manage to understand all of what is going on in the Pentagon, the good, bad, and the ugly.
312-642-5600. Lots of text messages coming in. This one first. Dan and Amy Pete should put away those silly socks. Not a great image for a defense secretary.
I mean, here's the first question that sort of popped into my mind when this announcement was made yesterday.
What?
I mean, again, stipulating, he seems like he's a relatively sharp guy from the few times I've watched him on Fox. He is a decorated combat veteran, no question about that.
He's young.
Would he be getting the job if he wasn't on Fox?
That's a very
And would he be getting the job if no one knew who he was, other than sort of maybe inside military circles? He didn't have a public profile like he does.
Well, some senators still don't know who he is. Bill Cassidy said, who? When reporters were asking him. And then Lisa Murkowski, they all responded, I'm surprised because that name we've never heard before for Secretary of Defense. But your point is right. I mean, would he get that job if he was not on Fox?
There are a lot of decorated combat veterans out there, and a lot of decorated combat veterans that are aligned with Trump fully, and a lot of decorated combat veterans that are aligned with Trump who have substantial executive experience. Sean and Darian.
Good morning, guys. I think he's a fantastic choice. I mean, look at Lloyd Austin. The guy's a joke. All he's worried about was being woke and pushing through transgender and all the other crap. He's young. He's hungry. And to answer your question, no, he probably wouldn't have gotten the nod if he wasn't on Fox. But that's the way it goes sometimes. And to clean out the military, you got all those old generals and admirals in there think that because they achieved general status that they get a pass. I disagree. I think he will do a great job, and it'll remain to be seen. Thanks.
All right,
It won't disappear like Lloyd Austin, remember? He was gone because he had cancer surgery.
I'm sorry, Lloyd Austin is not the standard? No, nobody was arguing that Lloyd Austin should be re-upped. Or that we need someone like Lloyd Austin in the Trump administration. So now that we know that that's not the comparison is to Pete Hegseth versus the available talent. That's the thinking that should go into a selection like this, right?
Yeah. Trump said, with Pete at the helm, America's enemies are on notice. Our military will be great again, and America will never back down. He described him as tough, smart, and a true believer in America first.
Andy McCarthy, friend of the show, who I respect greatly, so his view has impact on me. Pete Hegseth is a friend of mine. He's a great American patriot and whip smart, and he believes our military is a national defense force, not a sociology experiment. He will be a great SecDef.
Oh, okay.
Monica in Lisle.
Yeah, I think the reason why Trump picked him is he's going to clean house. He'll get some assistance, I'm sure, from somebody who's there as a backup. But I think what could happen is that Pete will be removed and somebody else will come in to take over, is my guess. It's just an idea.
Yeah, possibly. Thanks for the call, Monica. I mean, first of all, cleaning house in the Pentagon or any of these bureaucracies is not a one-man, one-person job. So, of course, he's going to get help. Every cabinet secretary is going to need, an executive team, and then maybe with a little help overlaid by the Musk-Vivek Ramaswamy Efficiency Commission. There's going to need to be a lot of talented people looking at this and trying to think strategically and tactically about how to hopefully substantially reduce the size and scope and expense of the federal government. So this is not all on Pete Hegseth's shoulders or any other single cabinet secretary. This is, massive team effort that's required. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I would be interested to hear, or perhaps more confident if we hear about some of these, for lack of a better description, C-suite teams in these critical agencies like Department of Defense that will surround the nominee or the putative secretary like Hegseth. If we hear about some of our friends like Jim Carafano and Stephen Bucci and others who have deep experience there, going back to the Reagan era, and are completely aligned with Trump and the mission to de-woke the military and the rest, then, okay.
Got a great text message to Dan and Amy. I believe Pete will fix the huge recruitment problem our country faces.
Well, again, yes, you heard him talk about getting better marketing teams with a message that's not identity politics oriented, right? But there's a lot of people who have that same view, and perhaps more of an established track record in doing those sorts of turnarounds. Greg, Jefferson Park.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I think a better pick than Pete would be Eric Prince, who's a former Navy SEAL and former CEO of Blackwater. He's been interviewed by Sean Ryan 3 times. I saw one of them, and the guy is incredibly smart. One of the ideas he had in Afghanistan when he was there was to, I guess there was the Russians drilled a well for oil. There is oil there, and said just spend the money, finish, put a small refinery there, and refine everything you need to power our tanks, planes, and everything else. And it would be substantially less than what we paid having the stuff trucked from wherever the hell it was trucked from. But the guy's incredibly smart, and I think has the executive experience to really do the job well. You guys have a good one.
Thanks for the call, Greg.
Another text message, where are the black people in his cabinet?
Joe in Naperville.
Yeah, I think for Secretary of Defense should have been John Winger from Stripes. I think that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick.
Yeah, you know what I think that you people are missing about Trump is he will fire people if they're not performing. So I don't have any qualms about who he picks, because if they don't do the job, they're gone. And as far as for entertainment at the inauguration, they should have P. Diddy only if he does a rap on all the leftist people that were at his shenanigans.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Joe. Brad, West Loop, quickly, please.
Yeah, I think Pete will be a great spokesman, and he will clean house. He literally wrote the book on the war on warriors, and Trump wants people who have a track record of what they've said in public, and Pete's been on the weekend for years on Fox and Friends, so he's got a well-established record of things he said and things he believes.
Thanks for the call, Brad. All right, we'll pick this up at 6:06 and talk a little bit about John Ratcliffe for CIA, RFK's role, and Mike Huckabee and others. 6:06.
Today it's going to be mostly cloudy, breezy, a high of 53 degrees at 6 a.m. WIND, Chicago.
Presidents 45, 46, and 47. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Former president and president-elect Trump is on his way to Washington to meet with President Biden at the White House. Here's Fox's Brooks Singman.
He'll first meet with House Republicans before heading back to the White House for a meeting with President Biden around 11. So Biden is expected to lobby Trump on a number of domestic and foreign policies, including his commitment to Ukraine and a ceasefire in Gaza. But the Biden administration says his top message will be ensuring his commitment to a peaceful transfer of power. The Trump team is working on filling out his own upcoming administration. The president-elect has nominated Pete Hegseth to serve as his Secretary of Defense. Hegseth is a decorated Army combat veteran who served tours in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And he spent the last 10 years as a contributor, now host on Fox News Channel. And there's skepticism from the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, Adam Smith.
It was surprising, and it is concerning, just given that lack of experience. The Pentagon, biggest bureaucracy in the world. It's a hard thing to run.
And Hegseth's nomination will be approved or not by the Senate. And Senate Republicans elect a new majority leader today.
Republican senators will vote in private. Florida Senator Rick Scott has led a public campaign for the position, and many in the president-elect's inner circle support him. Senators John Thune and John Cornyn have been pitching fellow Republicans in private. One of the incoming senators voting in that election, Pennsylvania Republican Dave McCormick. Outgoing Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has invited McCormick and Democratic Senator-elect Ruben Gallego to orientation. Both are projected to win close races. McCormick's opponent, Senator Bob Casey, has refused to concede. On the south side of the Capitol, Republicans are only 2 seats from retaining control of the House.
Fox's Rich Edson. 2 people are now reported to have been killed in an explosion at a flavor and fragrance factory in Louisville, Kentucky. America's listening to Fox News.
"41 degrees in Chicago, 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 were killed in a shooting in Chinatown Tuesday night. The shooting took place around 10 p.m. in the 2400 block of South Normal. A man killed in a fire in Woodstock in an apartment complex Tuesday night. Firefighters with Woodstock Fire Rescue responded around 10:15 to the blaze in the 700 block of St. John's Road. Mayor Brandon Johnson backing off his proposed $300 million property tax hike. At least for now, the mayor says he wasn't fully committing to the tax increase.
As a public school teacher, sometimes we do things to get people's attention. And so now that we have the attention of everyone, I've said from the very beginning, this is a proposal.
Governor J.B. Pritzker expects the Illinois legislature to work on policies he believes would be aimed at countering anything coming from an incoming Trump administration. Illinois Republican State Representative Adam Nienberg expects lots of meltdowns from Democrats in Springfield during the veto session.
You're going to see the Democrats really give a lot of floor speeches. They're going to file a lot of legislation on the immigration issue.
Pritzker saying he's in talks with his policy advisors and other governors about what to do.
And so we're gathering, I would call it a list of things that we may need to address. Maybe not during a veto session, but maybe. It can be done in the new year. There's time to do that. But suffice to say that we have a lot of work that we're looking at doing.
In other news we're following, the governor or Mayor Brandon Johnson are not invited to the funeral of slain Chicago police officer Enrique Martinez. In a video posted to the Chicago FOP YouTube channel, President John Catanzara saying the Martinez family doesn't want the governor or mayor to attend. And a lawsuit has been filed against a Westchester school district after a former teacher was charged with sexually abusing a student more than 20 years ago. The Bulls take on the Knicks tonight at MSG. The Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron yesterday, and Thomas Brown takes over that duty. College hoops, Northwestern behind 27 from Nick Martinelli, beats UIC 83-74. The news, a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk sees the hard work pay off.
I just want to say the gratitude people are showing me. I feel weird when people say, Charlie, congratulations. I'm like, man, I didn't get married. The country is saved. This is your victory as much as mine. You know what I mean? This is a victory for every human being on the planet. This is good for Ukrainians right now that are getting mowed down. We knew what we were doing the whole time. Donald Trump, everybody, is president-elect.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
At Balance of Nature, the quality of our products always starts with TLC, tender, loving care. We start by ensuring that only the finest fruit and vegetable ingredients are selected for our supplements. We put our ingredients through an advanced vacuum cold process that removes their moisture. Then they're ground up into a fine powder, encapsulated, and voila! Our fruits and veggies supplements are made just for you with love. And our commitment to care doesn't end there. Our customer care team is here to provide assistance, ensuring that you have the support and guidance you need. It's the tender, loving care you can see, smell, taste, and feel with every delivery.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first preferred set. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code Chicago.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility come crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
6:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And this update is a service of almostfreeteeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants is over. If you have medical PPO insurance, find out how you could save 90% off on average to get your smile back. Check if you qualify, almostfreeteeth.com. Ike inbound, disabled vehicle left lane block between Manheim and Des Plaines Avenue. Tri-State, you're all jammed up northbound between the Reagan, I-88, and the Eisenhower merge. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with AccuWeather's Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy and breezy, the high 53. Periods of rain, breezy for tonight, low 50. Clouds, a stray shower, breezy day tomorrow, the high 53. Plenty of sunshine on Friday, the high Friday afternoon, 56. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
41 right now. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're talking about the announcements of additions to the Trump team yesterday. We were talking specifically about Pete Hegseth to DOD. There's going to be a lot of discussion about that, taking your reactions. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer and text line. Another important appointment, of course, as it pertains to deep state reform, CIA director. This, I think, significantly less controversial, particularly since he was the director of national intelligence under Trump in his first term. John Ratcliffe, former congressman as well. And you remember, I mean, Ratcliffe didn't have huge profile, so just to refresh some people's recollections, talking about track records that are part of the public record, as we were at the end of last hour. Here's John Ratcliffe back in the day when he was a member of Congress, grilling Peter Strzok. Remember Peter Strzok?
Oh, that's right. And I wonder how his lover is doing.
Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the
Lisa
Lovebirds.
Page.
Peter Strzok, one of those unsavory characters, the management of Jim Comey's FBI, who propagated the Russian collusion hoax. This is how it went for Peter Strzok when Ratcliffe got a hold of him.
The approximately
50,000 text messages that I've seen with your personal beliefs like F Trump, stop Trump, impeach Trump. Go ahead and confirm on the record that none of that occurred on an official FBI device or on official FBI time. Go ahead and do that.
Sir, no, they did. Many of them did.
Oh, they did. Okay, so
50,000, sir.
So really, no. I'll give you a chance at the end. So what you really meant to say was that when you said you never crossed that bright, inviolable line, what you meant to say was, except for 50,000 times, except for hundreds of times a day where I went back and forth, expressing my personal opinions about effing Trump and stopping Trump and impeaching Trump on official FBI phones, on official FBI time. Other than that, you never crossed that line. I'm sure there are 13,000 FBI agents out there that are beaming with pride at how clearly you've drawn that line. Agent Strucker, you're starting to understand why some folks out there don't believe a word you say, and why it's especially troubling that you, of all people, are at the center of the 3 highest profile investigations in recent times that involve President Trump, and that you were in charge of an investigation investigating, gathering evidence against Donald Trump, a subject that you hated, that you wanted to F him, to stop him, to impeach him. And do you see why that might call into question everything you've touched on all of those investigations? Chairman, I'm done with this witness, and I yield back.
Oh, I'm done with you.
Yeah, Ratcliffe's a former prosecutor, too, before he became a member of Congress. He's been outspoken intermittently on and always on important issues, Chi-Com, espionage, like President Xi's red balloon there, for example. He's talked openly about the plot that was hatched in the Obama years, Obama and Clinton, to cook up a scandal to beset Trump, both as a candidate and then, of course, extended into his first term. So Ratcliffe I'm pretty excited about in terms of reform from the top down in the CIA. Certainly the end of the Brennan years. And CIA was important, too. Remember what we learned about that Hunter Biden, all the earmarks of a Russian information campaign letter signed by the notorious 51 deep staters, that Trump's CIA director at the end of his term, Gina Haspel, knew about it.
Right.
So
Did he sign the letter? But he knew about the letter, right?
Gina Haspel, she knew about it. She didn't sign it, but she facilitated. It sounded like not only knowledge, but something approximating facilitation. And the knowledge and not going public with the knowledge is bad enough. Yeah. So lesson learned there. Ratcliffe, DNI, obviously they must have got along well with Trump, and Trump feels he's perfectly aligned. There's no question about his capacity anymore because of the experience at DNI, as DNI. So, yeah, that seems to me a pretty down-the-middle selection and a good one. I'll get to a couple others here, but first, Joe in East Dundee, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Danny, I would love to see Carrie Lake as press secretary.
Carrie Lake is
press secretary. John Costa trying to take the mic out of her hand.
She'd be good because she knows how they work.
Thanks
I
for the
think
call.
She'd be great, but who's
Caroline Leavitt is going to be the press secretary, I believe. His spokesman.
Or what about Alina Habba?
No.
She's reportedly the front runner, according to Mediaite and CNN, for Trump's press secretary.
Well, I don't know. I don't trust CNN, but Caroline Leavitt has been obviously his point spokesman for the campaign. Alina Habba, I don't know. That's. I'm not going to say it's an Omarosa pick, but it's in that direction. Although she's more of a spokesman than she is a lawyer. I'll tell you that much. George and Niles.
Hi guys, love you guys.
Thanks.
Hey, there are two movies which I think can frame a discussion of the American military, and which deal with the spiritual issues, which I think Heslet might be able to address. One is the excellent Stanley Kubrick movie Paths of Glory, which is a dramatization of the utter corruption of the French military in World War I. And very quickly, the general of one of France's divisions accepts the mission he knows to be impossible. But because a promotion is dangled in front of him, he accepts it. His ambition overrules his military sense. The attack, of course, is an utter disaster, and the troops begin to retreat. The general actually orders an artillery officer to fire on his own troops, but the officer refuses without the order in writing, which he doesn't get. Later, in order to cover for his own incompetence, the general initially proposes an actual decimation of the division. Now, this is in the old Roman sense of decimation, where every 10th legionnaire was chosen and punished and crucified as a symbolic gesture for the entire legion. And so this proposal is rejected.
Connect the dots for us, George, then. So passive glory and now connect the dots to Hegseth at DOD.
Oh, well, he's going to be dealing with this type of corruption that is dramatized in this movie. And it's every level of the higher levels. And I think Pete might be able to do it. I don't know whether he has the executive and the management experience to take it on, but if he's surrounded by good people, I think that he would be a good representative for the rest of the military.
Okay. Thanks for the call, George. Sean, Northwest Side.
Hey, you guys know how Kamala Harris' campaign is $20 million in the hole? Well, Trump should offer her a position in the cabinet as assistant to the border czar, as long as she's the first person to break ground at the border wall. I think that'd just be hilarious. I'd love to see that.
All right. Thanks for the call, Sean. So just to fold in some other selections. I mean, this is not formal yet, but RFK Jr. is sort of talking like it's formal. And one of the things that so there's been no announcement about RFK Jr. in terms of a particular post, but my sense is that RFK may be sort of in one of these quote unquote czar roles, like a public health czar. And one of the things that seems that Trump is doing is bringing people into the executive branch. Into the White House specifically, and not letting the decision making happen at the agency level because of all the problems he had with the careerists in these bureaucracies in his first term. So let's tighten the ship up. Let's reduce the possibility and hopefully frequency of leaks, and let's get my people in the Oval Office with me to make decisions on policy in these particular areas, from border security to public health to economic policy. That's what it seems to me that he's doing, and he's got some people that are sort of ideally oriented to play that role, like Tom Homan with the border, like potentially RFK as it pertains to public health. RFK gave an interview over the weekend while in Scottsdale about some of his thoughts on, NIH and other public health agencies.
Donald Trump has said that he would put you in charge of the public health agencies. What exactly does that look like?
Well, he's been very specific in what he said. He wants me to do three things. One, clean up the corruption of the agencies, particularly the conflicts of interest that have turned those agencies into captive agencies for the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry, the other industries that they're supposed to be regulating. Number two, to return those agencies to the gold standard science, the empirically based, evidence-based medicine that they were famous for when I was a kid. And number three, to make America healthy again, to end the chronic disease epidemic. And President Trump has told me that he wants to see measurable, concrete results within 2 years in terms of a measurable diminishment in chronic disease among America's kids.
Well, he's right about the 2-year timeline. I mean, Trump's got a 2-year clock that he's working on, so it's really not a 4-year clock. RFK Jr. also said that on January 21st, 600 people are going to walk into offices at NIH and 600 people are going to leave. He also said in some categories there are entire departments like the nutrition department at the FDA that have to go, that are not doing their job, they're not protecting our kids. So, RFK is
obviously been thinking about some wholesale changes for a long time, and it seems like that may be the direction that Trump allows him to take. Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Thank you much for taking my call. I think it's going to be really important for Trump to take and tap some of these people, and they're from all walks here, lawyers, people from January 6th, up and down the thing, that have been under this absolute tyranny of the warfare, where they've been jailed, where they have lost their licenses with law, everything. Get these guys that have the skill set in these different areas in there, because they've been damaged, they've been attacked, they've been beat up by this regime, and they know, so they're going to have they're going to have the right state of mind to take and go after getting it dealt with, to take and, basically, and these people need to be prosecuted for treason, some of these people that did these kind of things.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Len, Highland Park.
Good morning. I could sing happy birthday really bad for Amy belatedly. I do the Marilyn Monroe thing really good.
Oh,
really?
I remember
Birthday to you. Okay, that's
let's sort of a huskier version of Marilyn Monroe than I remember. But okay.
No, she did it husky, Dan. And quit picking on Amy, by the way. Anyway, isn't it refreshing that we're having this conversation?
Yes.
And isn't it refreshing that the people that are being nominated, I mean, you look at the horror show of the last administration, and I'm just so happy that on 560 we're having this positive conversation, and I think Pete was a little out of the box, but he'll do a great job. Sometimes you got to go a little out of the box, read his book, but I'm just excited that 560 is having this conversation, and I might loop today. Have a good one.
Very good.
What did he say?
All right. Loop, Caddy.
Okay.
Thanks. Don't forget
But I think
Caddy
the
by
left is
trade.
eerily quiet. There's something brewing. I don't know. Like, remember last time when Trump won, everybody got out their pea hats. They were walking their dogs, men and women, everybody in Chicago had the pea hats. And then everybody went to Washington, D.C., and Madonna said she wants to burn down the White House. There's nothing planned. It just feels strange, like that there's something, I don't know. Or maybe they're just they didn't lose. They got destroyed.
Yeah, I don't think they were prepared for the kind of ass kicking that they got, and I think they're a little stunned by it. And there's a lot of other things at play right now too. I mean, you're talking about sort of organically in the streets and pea hats and all that stuff.
Or bumper stickers, like just anything. I don't know. Last time people put lawn signs up, and there's nothing going on, and it just feels weird.
Yeah, I think they're very demoralized, and one of the differences this time versus 2016, which was a surprise, but it wasn't the hammering that they received this go around. One of the differences is, Trump was good for leftist media in terms of subscriptions to the Gray Lady and to the Amazon Post and the cable news channels, the CNNs and MSNBCs. Yeah, well, that doesn't seem to be the case in the wake of what happened on November 5th. Puck News is reporting that CNN will be firing hundreds of employees, including some of their top stars. Chris Wallace says he's not returning after his contract expires. Was he even there?
Well,
I didn't even know.
Might not have been his choice. They might not have been renewing his contract.
True, and there may be more bloodletting to come. MSNBC ratings, Joy Reid is down 55%, Ari Melber is down 50%, Chris Hayes down 47%, Alex Wagner down 54%, Morning Joe down 40%, Stephanie Ruhle down 67%, Andrea Mitchell down 40%.
She's leaving too. She's retiring.
So you start, taking a hammering in terms of viewership and by extension ad revenue, and maybe some of the leading lights of the left will no longer have a microphone. Wouldn't that be sad? In actuality, it would be kind of sad. I hope they find some money lying around, maybe
Maybe they can do one of those GoFundMes for MSNBC or something.
And I don't know if you want to hear this, but
Well, okay, can I finish my thought?
Yeah.
I hope they find some money lying around, because as obnoxious and ignorant and incendiary as some of these hosts are, the mediocre intellects like Joe Scarborough and Joy Reid, man, they did a great service. Not intentionally, but they did a great service by providing daily illustrations of how loony the left really is, and sort of how sick they are, from trans stuff to the full range of issues. They were the amplifiers of all of the silliness that comes from the new Bolsheviks that form the base of that party. I mean, they are part of that crew. So I'd hate to see them go away, but apparently some of their loyalists that were hoping for big things from Kamala and company on November 5th have gone away.
And there was a MAGA moment on The View yesterday. I almost fell off my couch. Do you want to hear it? It's a minute long, but it's shocking.
Well, I think that the weaponizing of immigrants or equating immigrants to criminals was feeding off people's fears, because the statistics don't support that. But there is a problem at the border, and there's been a problem for decades and decades, and every administration has come through here and no one has fixed it. It ballooned in this last administration, and that's what the people voted on, a referendum on that. Because right now, one thing I've never understood, and I actually think we'll wait to see how this looks, but either we have laws at the border or we don't. We're asking people to get in line to come into this country while incentivizing people not waiting in the line. Like, we've seen things where sanctuary cities like California and Illinois, it's kind of like, get to the country, like kick the can. If you get to base, though, you're going to be fine. You also have Tim Walz signed into legislation in Minnesota that allowed undocumented immigrants to receive free in-state tuition. All of these are lovely in spirit, but there are people that can't pay for food for their own families. In New York, they were giving $500 meal cards, and obviously we want to help someone for the humane interest, but there's a lifeboat here. And I think the rage about the border was also people here that are maybe insecure, homeless at times, making ends meet, and they don't have any of, they can't send their kids to college.
Just in. How did they not know that or discuss that before? Because it didn't fit their agenda. But now they're having a come solve us.
Dan and Glen Ellen.
Hey, good morning, guys. To Amy's point about how quiet it is, well, this is the old normal. I mean, remember when we didn't have a protest every day or a huge outrage? And I think it's just because none of it was ever organic. And the guys with the money just don't want to waste any more money. They just wasted quite a bit of money over the last 100 so days.
That's part of it.
Out there for these protests.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's part of it, I think, Dan. Thanks for the call. But the other part of it, I think, is demoralization, because, there is a sizable element of the left that knows nothing other than temper tantrums. And you've seen it. You've seen it online. They're still present online. They're just not present organizing with P-hats in Grant Park. But that will come when these policies start getting moved, and those same purveyors of agitprop on MSNBC and CNN and all the other outlets. They didn't lose control of so many of the cultural and civic institutions in K through 12 education, in government, in the arts, in entertainment, in corporate America. Let's not. They didn't stop, maintaining hegemony over our cultural and civic institutions. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. And so there will come in the not too distant future, like as soon as Trump takes office and some of these policies start getting moved, they'll get right back to whipping up hysteria. There will be people in the streets again. Make no mistake about it. Mike in Kaukauna, Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning, Dan, Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a supporter of reason, so I like what's happening right now, but I fear it's like that Monty Python skit about the Department of Redundancy Department.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just hope he, can make the right appointments. The wrong appointments will, will hurt him. And I was reared in Oak Park. I grew up there too.
Hi-yo.
My father was he owned a construction business where all the all of his workers were of the trades. They were union skilled. And one thing he always struggled with was finding the right guy to run the men. Because if you didn't have experience in the field, they weren't going to listen to you.
I hear you. Thanks for the call, Mike. We were up against it, but your point is well taken. Coming up at 6:36, we'll turn our attention to one of the other appointments announced yesterday. That's Mike Huckabee for U.S. Ambassador to Israel. We'll discuss that with Rich Goldberg at 6:36.
But first, let's swing by that newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
41 degrees at 6:32. Senate Republicans voting today to select their new leader.
Republican senators will vote in private. Florida Senator Rick Scott has led a public campaign for the position, and many in the president-elect's inner circle support him. Senators John Thune and John Cornyn have been pitching fellow Republicans in private. One of the incoming senators voting in that election, Pennsylvania Republican Dave McCormick. Outgoing Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has invited McCormick and Democratic Senator-elect Ruben Gallego to orientation. Both are projected to win close races. McCormick's opponent, Senator Bob Casey, has refused to concede. On the south side of the Capitol, Republicans are only 2 seats from retaining control of the House.
President-elect Trump has not endorsed any Senate candidate. President Biden is set to host President-elect Trump at the White House. Their get-together comes as Trump continues to fill key posts in the upcoming administration. This morning, Mexico's economy minister says if the incoming Trump administration puts tariffs on Mexico, Mexico will respond in kind. The opening bell rings this morning after stocks closed lower Tuesday, ending a nearly week-long record run-up on Wall Street. Minnesota man recovering after a rare triple organ transplant. Mike Lovin now has a new kidney, heart, and lungs, and he's walked his first mile on a treadmill. Nominees for the Songwriting Hall of Fame class of 2025 are being announced. Those nominated: NWA, George Clinton, Janet Jackson, Bryan Adams. Those inducted this year include R.E.M. and Steely Dan. 2 were killed from a shooting in Chinatown last night. Chicago police said the shooting took place around 10 p.m. in the 2400 block of South Normal. 1 victim pronounced dead on the scene. A second victim found with a gunshot wound to the shoulder. That victim later died. A man killed in a fire in Woodstock in an apartment building blaze Tuesday night. Woodstock Fire Rescue says they responded around 10:15 to a fire in the 700 block of St. John's Road, and they arrived on the scene to find heavy fire coming from a 2-story complex. Bulls take on the Knicks at MSG tonight. The Bears fired Shane Waldron yesterday. Thomas Brown takes over the offense. College hoops, Northwestern, a win over UIC at Welsh Ryan. The news, a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Get ready for a musical journey like no other when the Trans-Siberian Orchestra returns to Chicago on December 23rd on their Lost Christmas Tour 2024. AM 560 is giving away tickets. Enter today at 560theanswer.com/Christmas. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra at the All-State Arena. Go to 560theanswer.com/Christmas.
From humble small-town beginnings to Hollywood stardom and eventually the world stage, Reagan is a cinematic journey of overcoming the odds. Told through the voice of Victor Petrovich, the film offers a unique perspective. With Dennis Quaid as Reagan, this captivating story explores the profound impact of a man who defied expectations to leave an indelible mark on history. Reagan is available on digital and will be available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital November 19th. For a chance to win a digital download, visit 560theanswer.com, keyword movie.
Hello, my name is Gina.
When I first found out that I was pregnant, I was in a very dark place. I was living out of my car or on the streets, working as a dancer at a nightclub, heavily into drugs and alcohol, and I didn't know how I was going to deal with having a child. You know, people look at someone living like I was and say, that's why we need abortion. I didn't need an abortion. What I needed was help. So Aid for Women helped me move into Heather's house. They gave me everything. A place to stay, clothes, food, a listening ear, help with my daughter, everything. To learn more about my story, watch my video, and support this great organization, go to helpaidforwomen.org. That's helpaidforwomen.org. You can help save lives and souls like mine from abortion today.
Aid for Women offers women real choice. They really do terrific pro-life work. Please step up and support this great organization. Go to helpaidforwomen.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Going on 72 in July. I swim. I'm a swimmer. I play pickleball and I play golf. And I have to say, Balance of Nature really, I feel like I could sing.
I like the product, and I'm telling a lot of people about it.
It's the best stuff in the world. It's good stuff.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
6:38. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is a service of Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get matched with your perfect bed. Save up to $700 on a wide selection of quality mattresses. Plus, score a free adjustable base with qualifying purchase. See store for details. Kennedy inbound already 1 hour. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike inbound, an earlier stall, has things gummed up between Manheim and First Avenue. Stevenson 1 hour in, very heavy from 355 all the way into DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and the Dan Ryan slowing up inbound between 43rd and the Stevenson. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy, breezy, 53 today. Breezy and mild, periods of rain, a low of 49 overnight, 41 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by TJ Stearns Financial Planning. Certified financial planner Tim Stearns holds a weekly discussion of the financial challenges to secure retirement. Listen Saturday at noon for Protect and Grow with Tim Stearns.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. One of the other appointments that we haven't gotten to yet in our discussion this morning that has taken on newfound importance given the war in the Middle East is U.S. Ambassador to Israel. And for that post, Trump has selected former Arkansas governor and presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Here was Mike Huckabee at the infancy of Trump's first term discussing Israel and what he expected Trump's posture would be and what America's posture should be.
I think Israel has title deed to Judea and Samaria. There are certain words I refuse to use. There is no such thing as a West Bank. It's Judea and Samaria. There's no such thing as a settlement. They're communities, they're neighborhoods, they're cities. There's no such thing as an occupation.
That they get out of their minds that people are living in lean-tos and tents, and sleeping in cars, circled around a tree. They're living in very well-designed and beautiful cities and communities. Can't wait to get back. I'm going to take an extra hat. I'm going to get it to President-elect Trump. Build Israel great again. Who knows? We may see him wear this out there in one of his rallies somewhere. I don't know. Can't promise that. I can only
So that's about as strong a statement in terms of belief in Israel as a fundamental ally of the United States, as you're going to hear. For more on this and some of the other appointments we have been discussing this morning, please be joined by Rich Goldberg, former National Security Council official and U.S. Senate aide, currently senior advisor at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Rich, thanks for being with us.
Of course. Good morning.
What do you think about the Huckabee selection?
It's a home run. I mean, Mike Huckabee is, first of all, just a good person, a great former governor, actually just a good role model for, I think, the next generation of Americans. But in this context, one of the most, important pro-Israel champions in the country, and a voice that represents tens of millions of Americans as an evangelical Christian who's going to express that support in public every day, both to represent the United States to Israelis who have been watching now for over a year as the streets in the United States are filled with all these pro-Hamas demonstrators. Jews are getting shot in Chicago or attacked in other ways, or synagogues, getting attacked just for being Jewish and supportive of Israel. What has happened, not just in the streets, but on college campuses, very confused of what's happening. A presidential election in which one of the candidates was saying all those people in the streets pro-Hamas, have some sort of a point, and it's real where they're coming from. You're going to have a complete 180 now of the voice of the United States back to the people of Israel saying, we are with you 150%. And then I think to come back onto a Sunday show live from Jerusalem to speak to tens of millions of Americans about what he's seeing on the ground and why he supports Israel, I think is going to be a great antidote to what we have going on in this country from the radical left poisoning the next generation to hate Israel.
Well, the other thing, too, about that 180 you're speaking of is it's going to send a message to Western Europe that America is not going to tolerate anti-Semitism. We're not going to be mealy-mouthed on the topic anymore. And so you may want to, clean up your act, what's happening in your streets in places like we've seen recently, like Amsterdam.
100%, and I think we'll still see who he wants to appoint to be the special envoy for anti-Semitism. But you talk about Elise Stefanik going to the United Nations now after what she did to university presidents on anti-Semitism in front of the entire world. I mean, I hear the people prepping Claudine Gay from Harvard are now prepping UN diplomats, so I hope that works out better for them. But I mean, you combine Elise Stefanik taking it to the UN. Mike Huckabee in the region, the president appointing Steve Witkoff, one of his best friends, a great negotiator, to represent him, I think very similarly to Jared Kushner's former role. This is a team. Mike Waltz is National Security Advisor. If we can get confirmed, Marco Rubio is going to be Secretary of State. This is a team that truly believes in peace through strength, believes in standing with Israel, not hedging against Israel, to achieve actual stability and peace in the Middle East. And I think you're putting the recipe back together to be able to expand the Abraham Accords over time, including Saudi-Israel normalization.
Now, you tweeted out about Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense. Do people understand who he really is?
He's going to need to introduce himself. He's going to go through a confirmation process. I've known him at least 15 years, worked with him in various projects in foreign policy, national security. He's a great mind. If you've ever watched him break down a situation on television, people forget he didn't start as a co-host on the weekend for Fox and Friends. He worked his way up to that position. I remember him starting off there as a national security analyst, somebody who really was trying to break down complex military solutions, and make proposals to whoever's in power. He had been in a lot of foreign policy discussions. When I was on Capitol Hill, we would call him. So I'm very impressed with him, always have been. And I think we're in a millennial generation now where, people have been, thinking you're going to see some four-star general or some white-haired old dude who, comes out of some, university lab produced to be Secretary of Defense. I got news for you. A lot of those people have turned out to be terrible secretaries of defense. We just went through 4 years of a decorated general who who oversaw the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Wars breaking out throughout the world, both Russia invading Ukraine and Iran launching a seven-front war against Israel. We have done nothing for 4 years to prepare for the coming threat from China to really build up our defense industrial base. And by the way, what did they spend 4 years on? Complete crazy DEI woke issues, trying to indoctrinate the force into the radical left issues that cost them the election this cycle. And I think that's one of the real reasons why you're seeing some left-wing Democrats come out to attack Pete Hegseth right now. They know he's capable of doing the job. They know he knows the issues in foreign policy defense strategy. They know the president clearly has some level of trust in him, which is important for the job. But they also know among his views that he's articulated is de-wokifying the military. It's having people actually focus on preparing to win wars, not on absorbing radical ideologies. They may not like that, but maybe they need to spend a little more time internalizing the election results, because that radical ideology was a contributing factor to them losing throughout the country.
So I mean, you think that Hegseth is going to be more than sort of the face guy at DOD and that sort of a second tier of day-to-day people will actually run the show. He's going to be more than a spokesman. He's going to be hands-on because, of course, the concern, and it's legitimate to raise, is the lack of executive experience, particularly with to run an organization as complicated as the Pentagon.
I think you need a very strong support team around him. I think you're going to need people who are solid on the management side, solid on the budget side, additional augmentation for a very solid Undersecretary of Defense for policy. By the way, these are important posts to fill with the right people, no matter who you appoint as your Secretary of Defense. So if he has the confidence of the president, if he's able to stand on his own 2 feet, articulate the issues, you go through a confirmation process. If he just wipes out, then fine. I mean, I don't expect that to happen. I think he's very articulate. He's bright. He's nimble. He's flexible. He understands the issues. He was going to work well with the rest of the National Security Council apparatus. And if they put a very solid team behind him, around him, I think that could be very successful because he's going to be driving some fundamental changes in the department. They're obviously going to be driving some budget changes, procurement reforms, hopefully, try to make the department more efficient, get more stuff made in shorter amounts of time for less money. That's a big, big job with a lot of bureaucracy to fight it. So you're going to need not just one person taking on that mission. You're going to need a team.
What do you think of the Warrior Board, as it's being called, of retired senior military personnel with the power to review 3- and 4-star officers to recommend removals of any generals that may be deemed unfit for leadership?
I've heard that proposal so far. I have not seen it in detail, I'll admit, so I don't feel completely comfortable opining on the details. I want to absorb it and hear the arguments, both sides. I can understand the professional military side being uncomfortable with that. I imagine there might be some concern and voices on the Armed Services committees as well. It could be bipartisan. I think people want to get briefed on exactly how the process goes. At the same time, I think we have seen a number of examples where something like this might be appropriate. So I think it's good to be able to push, reset, refresh how things have been done. Just assuming everything the way it's done is good, is working out well, I don't think is a good assumption. So I like that about President Trump, always questioning assumptions and seeing if there's a better way to do things. But I want to study this a little bit closer before weighing in.
What are your thoughts on... Dan, you can go.
What about Ratcliffe at CIA? I mean, he's proven up. He proved up as a DNI in addition to being a member of Congress. But in terms of, the job that he has, along with, to some extent, whoever the director of the FBI is, to root out what I would describe as some of these fifth-column actors in those agencies.
I think that's important. Listen, there is a deep state in the intelligence community. I saw it when I was in the White House, the National Security Council. I had to fight it. It is not the same as saying you're going after bureaucrats who are undermining policy, who are trying to put their views and opinions onto intelligence and send it up in a way where they are going to misguide leaders to make bad choices or to try to design and curate the choices for you in advance. It is not the same as politicizing the intelligence from on top. The goal here is to depoliticize intelligence. The goal here is to get a real view for policymakers, including the president, to say, here is what's going on, and then have policymakers say, here are your options, Mr. President. If there's one thing we have learned in the last few years, the intelligence community does not do a very good job about predicting what's going to happen. They do a very good job of telling you what is going on and what might be about to happen, indications and warnings. But you talk about predictions of Kabul will stand, the Taliban's not going to march on Kabul, Kyiv is going to fall in 72 hours. The predictions and assessments about what's going on in Gaza and how Israel has no chance and Rafah won't go well. We have something really broken inside the intelligence community in certain assessments.
Now, one of the key parts of Trump's campaign was the promise to close the southern border and fix illegal immigration. Your thoughts on Governor Kristi Noem to lead the Department of Homeland Security?
That is a very hard department. Many have tried and always come up short. I think putting a governor with management experience into what is a very large behemoth is good. I think having a czar, Tom Homan, who's going to be able to identify for cabinet members and agency leads where the landmines are, who's going to pop up in the bureaucracy, where are the legal challenges going to come, how do you avoid these things, lessons learned from past DHS secretaries who came up short, and then also having the relationship and the constant communication flow back to the president. He cares about this agency, obviously, a great deal for good reason. He wants to see results in this area very quickly, and he wants to be kept in the loop. And so the worst thing is to have somebody there who thinks that they know best, they're going to go off in their own direction, they're going to make a whole bunch of mistakes, and the president's going to be, left holding the bag, very upset about it, firing somebody. So I hope this process sets him up for success and her up for success. It's got a lot of responsibility in that agency, not just in the immigration context, obviously, as we think about who has actually come into this country the last 4 years, the surge in folks on the terror watch list. Obviously, we just had this incident in Chicago where somebody who came across illegally from North Africa shot a Jewish American. We have very few details about that case still, which I'm shocked by. I hope more comes out. But we definitely have a very high homeland security threat at the moment, and DHS is going to have to work very closely with the FBI on that.
We got to come up with a different title than czar, don't you think?
I hate that.
There's this use of Russian royalty for domestic or even domestic facing or international facing administration officials. It just bothers me. We need to come up with something that's like more, American. Like Wrangler or something. I don't know. Why don't you and the guys at FDD think about that and come up with some options for us?
We'll work on that. We'll crack open the thesaurus today, and we will get back to you.
No, very good. I appreciate that. Rich Goldberg, former National Security Council official and U.S. Senate aide, currently senior advisor at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Rich, thanks. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560. The Answer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
All right, as a member of your family headed to college soon, paying for college and avoiding long-term student loan debt has never been more challenging. And attorney Ray Kaplan at Kaplan Law Firm is here to help you and your family make informed decisions and plan smarter for college by navigating and understanding all the available student loan options. There's a lot out there, so don't go it alone. Set up your family for financial success. Plan college expenses together with attorney Ray Kaplan and Kaplan Law Firm. Schedule a consultation. Call this number, 312-294-8989, 312-294-8989, or go to financialrelief.com. That's financialrelief.com.
From humble small-town beginnings to Hollywood stardom and eventually the world stage, Reagan is a cinematic journey of overcoming the odds. Told through the voice of Victor Petrovich, the film offers a unique perspective. With Dennis Quaid as Reagan, this captivating story explores the profound impact of a man who defied expectations to leave an indelible mark on history. Reagan is available on digital and will be available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital November 19th. For a chance to win a digital download, visit 560theanswer.com, keyword movie.
Hey guys, Dan Proft here. Fellas, if you're feeling at a loss for energy, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But guys have different T levels. We're not all the same. So don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Ask. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and with more than a decade of experience. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Chicagoland certified financial planning professional Tim Stearns discusses taxes in retirement.
Most people are paying more in taxes and keeping less of their money to live and do what they enjoy. That's why we've put out the retirement tax bill calculator online. You can see with your own eyes just how much you might be overpaying. It's a valuable tool, $500 value, but we made it free for you to view and run your own numbers at mvpcfp.com. That's mvpcfp.com.
To run your retirement tax bill calculator, go to mvpcfp.com. Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC.
AM 560, The Answer.
How about, instead of czar, how about shot caller?
What did
border
you
shot caller. The border shot caller, border boss, border
about
big
border
cheese.
boss?
Border boss works. Big cheese, honcho, numero uno. I don't know. We got to settle on something other than czar. I do know
Okay.
that.
We'll think of something. We're on it, Dan. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:07, we'll talk to former Chief Assistant Cook County State's Attorney Bob Mylan about crime and punishment in Chicago and Cook County. That's at 7:07.
Can't wait. Today we're going to have mostly cloudy skies. It will be breezy, a high of 53 degrees. It is now 7 a.m. WIND Chicago.
Heading back to the White House, I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. It's a tradition then President Trump skipped with then President-elect Biden in 2020, a meeting to talk about the transition between administrations. They will meet this morning with now President-elect Trump getting ready to return to office.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre was asked what message President Biden wants to send with this invitation and sit down.
The importance of keeping the norms, the importance of having a transition that is going to be efficient. This is what the American people deserve.
She would not elaborate on any agenda items or topics of discussion. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
And President-elect Trump says tech billionaire Elon Musk and former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy will lead an unofficial Department of Government Efficiency to find places to cut federal government. There's another cabinet pick.
Overnight, Trump announcing that Pete Hegseth, the best-selling author, the combat veteran, and co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, will lead the Department of Defense. Trump writing, "Nobody fights harder for the troops, and Pete will be a courageous and patriotic champion of our peace through strength policy." Former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe is heading back to the government. He's Trump's pick for CIA director. He's spoken out frequently about the threat China and Iran pose. He's also accused some in the intelligence community of political misinformation. Trump writing, "Ratcliffe has been a warrior for truth and honesty with the American public. When 51 intelligence officials were lying about Hunter Biden's laptop, there was one, Ratcliffe, telling the truth to the American people."
Fox's Mark Meredith. The special counsel prosecuting 2 federal criminal cases against President-elect Trump, Jack Smith, will, according to the New York Times, finish his investigations and resign before Trump takes office in January, rather than be fired and leave any loose ends. Flights from the United States to Haiti are prohibited for at least the next 30 days by the Federal Aviation Administration because of planes being hit by gunfire over the airport in Port-au-Prince, at least 3 Sunday and Monday. America's listening to Fox News.
"41 degrees. Skies are cloudy. It's 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 were killed from a shooting in Chinatown Tuesday night. Chicago police say it took place around 10 p.m. in the 2400 block of South Normal. 1 victim pronounced dead on the scene. A second victim was found with a gunshot wound to the shoulder, transported to an area hospital, and later died. A man was killed in a fire in a Woodstock apartment building Tuesday night. Woodstock Fire Rescue says the blaze broke out around 10:15. In the 700 block of St. John's Road. They arrived on the scene to find heavy fire coming from a 2-story apartment complex. A lawsuit has been filed against the Westchester School District after a former teacher was charged with sexually abusing a student more than 20 years ago.
The school investigated and apparently advised Ms. Lack to resign, but inexplicably no reports were filed with DCFS. No criminal reports were filed, and as a result, this individual went on to teach at a different area middle school for over 20 years.
The civil lawsuit filed last week in Cook County Court follows the latest criminal case that was filed in August against Dawn Chester. Chester was arrested and charged with aggravated criminal sexual abuse last summer. She taught at the Westchester Middle School from 1993 to 2000. Chester has pled not guilty to the charges. The Bulls will try to get back in the win column when they visit the Knicks at MSG tonight. Bears have fired Shane Waldron as offensive coordinator. Thomas Brown will take over. Nick Martinelli, 27, in the Northwestern Wildcats college hoops win over UIC 83-74. And Jerry Faust is dead at the age of 89. Former Notre Dame football coach passed away on Monday. Faust took over the Irish from Dan Devine in 1981, led the team until 1985. The news, a service of Turnkey.pro. For less than the price of a monthly car payment, Turnkey will fully protect your network with up-to-date cyber protection, unlimited backup, unlimited 24/7 help desk support, real-time threat hunting. Protect your small business today. Visit Turnkey.pro today. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder is still basking in it.
It went far better than even I had imagined. I said before, I knew he would do better than he did 4 years ago. But to literally obliterate Kamala Harris. And by the way, Kamala Harris underperformed Joe Biden in every single county in America.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility come crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
7:07, let's get an update on the roads. We do that, of course, in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, a service of almostfreeteeth.com. Overpaying for dental implants is over if you have medical PPO insurance. Find out how you could save 90% off on average to get your smile back. Check if you qualify at almostfreeteeth.com. The Kennedy right now, 1 hour, solid from Foster to Montrose coming in to the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike at 55 minutes. 390 into the old post office. Dan Ryan stop and go in the Express, inbound between 43rd and the Stevenson. Tri-State southbound jamming up between Plainfield Road and the Stevenson, and delays as you travel near Elwood. Route 53 and Manhattan Road, report of an accident there. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with AccuWeather's Steve Williams.
A breezy, cloudy day, a high today 53. Breezy night tonight, mild periods of rain, low 50. Clouds and a stray shower. Another breezy day for tomorrow, the high 53. And then sunny Friday, the high 56. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
41 at O'Hare, 41 at Midway, 39 in Aurora. And your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The Amish texter has done it again. He's solved our problem with the Border Czar title. We need to replace czar. We shouldn't use terms of Russian royalty to describe elected, appointed officials in our government.
No, that's a point of contention for you. All right, so what does the Amish texter have for us?
No, just get ready for it.
Okay.
Give it a chance.
All right, I'll let it breathe.
Wife.
Huh?
Wife.
Oh.
You don't get it?
I mean,
honestly. But border boss, border shot caller.
I know.
The border wife. Tom Homan is the border wife. Now, he may take some getting used to.
Okay, the border wife, yeah.
Okay.
I know.
All right. Well, Amish, I'm sorry. I think it's brilliant, but...
I think it perpetuates a stereotype that we don't like. Yeah, I don't know.
Boy, you really picked up on it. You really picked up what he's laying down. Thanks for explaining it to everyone.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll go back to border big toe or something. Onto serious matters. Let's get serious here. So I'm still waiting for some follow-up to this analysis that Iris Martinez, the clerk of the circuit court, did back in September. And this letter she sent to Tim Evans, Tony Preckwinkle, talking about the Safety Act, the Pritzker Purge Law, the analysis that her office did, which found, and I'm citing her letter, there has been a failure to appear by a defendant in 67,416 out of 90,872 cases. The analysis that they did, looking at the impact of no cash bail in Cook County. Failure to appear by defendant in 74% of the cases they looked at over the period since the implementation of the Safety Act. That's a big number. And as Martinez writes in her letter, Cook County leaders must recognize the financial and human impacts of 67,416 failures to appear to court, the impact they have had on case processing, staffing, victim witness cooperation, and on our law enforcement partners. Together, we need to ensure that victims, witnesses, lawyers, judges, and police officers are not attending tens of thousands of hearings without the defendants being present. Iris Martinez, clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. So what is the understanding, and are we ever going to get a response from the power structure in Chicago and Cook County other than we dismiss the faulty methodology that was used to draw up those numbers? For more on this and other matters law and order related, please be joined by Bob Milan again. Bob Milan, former first assistant state's attorney in Cook County, former assistant U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Illinois as well. Bob, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Good to talk to you and Amy again.
So what about the Safety Act impact as documented by Iris Martinez? It's just not getting much conversation, and it seems like it should be.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's pushback on our numbers, but you really don't need to look at the numbers. You need to watch the first 8 minutes of any news, news station at night, or read CWB, and we can go on and on what's going on. The Safety Act needs to be amended, and people are okay in general with no more putting up cash bond. But what they did is they took discretion away from the judges on a lot of matters. So I'll give you an example. Let's say guy commits first-degree murder, convicted in 1998. He serves his 20 years. He gets out in 2018. He does his parole to 2021, and then he steals a car. He gets caught in a stolen car. Or he, for whatever reason, walks up to somebody and punches him right in the face and on the street, knocks a woman down on the street, punches in the face for no reason. That person cannot, under the current Safety Act, be held in custody. He cannot be held in custody awaiting trial. And I think most people would say, wait a minute, convicted murderer out on the street, steals a car again, and he can't be held, or punches a person in the face, and we can go on and on. I can give you dozens and dozens of crazy examples, but the fact of the matter is you're seeing every day people on electronic monitoring committing carjackings and robberies and armed robberies, even when they're on electronic monitoring. We saw recently a police officer killed in the line of duty by a man who was wearing an ankle bracelet from a different county. And you would think that responsible elected officials would come forward and say, let's tweak this. And so what they should do is say, give judges discretion to hold people in custody for any offense from a Class A misdemeanor and up, based on not only the crime they're currently charged with, but based on their past criminal conduct. And they can't do that now. It's ridiculous. And going back to your point on not showing up for court, I got in more trouble at St. Ignatius High School for missing class than these guys get for missing their felony court dates, right? And because of the way the Safety Act is written. So they have to amend it so that a judge has discretion. If you don't show up to court, I can take you into custody on the very first time, and that's the way it's going to be. Not all judges are going to do it, but you should make the amendment and at least give them discretion. That's what we're paying them for, these judges. We're paying them to use their judgment and discretion to the streets.
On the issue of pretrial detention, I hear what you're saying about the law as it stands and the infirmities there. But in addition to that, what is your assessment of how aggressive prosecutors and judges are in the areas where there is discretion in the case of prosecutors pushing for pretrial detention of somebody that is a threat to the public and the judges granting pretrial detention? Do we have, is there enough push in that direction where there is established discretion?
No, there's not. There's some judges that are very good. They realize this person is dangerous. This person's never going to stop committing crimes, and I got to get this person off the street. And under the statute, because of whatever the charge the person's charged with, you can take them off the street, and those judges will hold them. There's others that are letting people out left and right, and it's unbelievable, and they get away with it.
But why?
No, there's no public entity. I don't understand it. This political agenda that started, 8 years ago, in which it's all about letting people out of jail, and a lot of it had to be with minorities. Let minorities out, get them out of Cook County Jail. Don't hold them pre-trial, right? But who did that hurt? It hurt their own communities because these guys go back out and they offend and offend and offend over and over again. Minority people, right? So these crimes keep getting committed in the South and West sides, and it's unbelievable what people have to put up with out there. And so this carries on. So when you have something like the Safety Act passed, which is a misnomer, by the way, it doesn't increase safety at all. It's the opposite. But when you have this Safety Act, it sends a message to the judges, hey, let these guys out. If there's any way you can let them out, let them out. And some of them do. Some of them let them out every chance they get, no matter what their criminal background is.
So it's a problem not just at the leadership level in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, but with the chief judge, with the Cook County Board President, the entire power, with the mayor, power structure.
They're watching the same news stories I'm watching. They're reading the same newspapers I'm reading. They're they have CWB. They look at it. They see what's happening on the streets, and they're allowing it to happen. And everybody has a boss. And if a judge is releasing dangerous people continuously, that judge should be called in by the boss and said, hey, what are you doing? Or maybe this assignment doesn't fit you. Maybe you should be doing weddings down in the basement of Markham or something. But you shouldn't be here in Bond Court.
I wanted to get your reaction to something that Brandon Johnson said at a media avail yesterday about the incoming presidential administration, of course, and particularly as it relates to Chicago being a sanctuary city and the concept of Chicago police being allowed to cooperate with federal law enforcement.
This is the most robust conversation we've ever had.
To ask our police departments, not just in Chicago and the state of Illinois, but across America, to do more and more. It's just not sustainable. Our police department will not dub as ICE agents. We're not going to do that. And it's a dangerous precedent where members of communities begin to feel unsafe with their local police department, right? We're already working to restore confidence and trust in our local police department. The last thing we need is members of community feel like they can experience a raid from a local police department on behalf of the tyrant.
We're not going to have CPD dub as ICE agents, Bob.
Yeah, and that's fine because he's probably not going to need the police to do it. If the Trump administration does what they're saying they're going to do, ICE is going to be fully staffed, if not, more so, and they're going to be very aggressive. So, he can do or say whatever he wants, but it's kind of funny that here's a Democratic mayor talking this way when the people that were taken out of this country, the illegal immigrants that were taken out of this country, were done more so under both Republican and Democratic presidents in recent years. Under President Obama, it was constant. ICE was arresting people, taking them to federal court, and sending them back to the countries where they came from, right? Constantly, right? That was under President Obama, right? Yeah. But here's here's a mayor saying now, we're not going to assist in any way. The federal government probably won't need his help. And I'll just add one other thing. The sanctuary city stuff where they're saying, come on, we're a welcoming city, come here, right? The way those people were treated that came to Chicago was horrendous. Horrendous. I was there. I saw those police stations. Children sleeping on cement floors, right? Bathrooms backed up, the stench of urine, unbelievable. Little kids sitting on paint buckets, eating beans and stuff out on the street. It was terrible, right? But major news media wasn't there showing it. It was a disgrace. And they act like they use that word sanctuary. Come here, it's a great life. Yeah, you're going to sleep on a sidewalk in front of a Chicago police station or on the floor of a Chicago police station? It was a joke.
Well, and then we had 23 shelters. We still have 17 shelters that are still open. And if you drive by any of them, I mean, I just don't know what we're doing, because I don't know if some of them can work, or are they choosing not to work, or if do they even have work visas to work? Do you know?
Yeah, they had no plan for this. It's obvious there was no plan, and you have recent mayors saying, well, they didn't. The Texas governor didn't communicate with us. Did you reach out to the Texas governor? Did you, Sanctuary City, reach out to the Texas governor saying, we're here to help? We have a plan up here. No, they didn't. They didn't reach out. This poor guy's getting inundated down on his border, and he starts sending people to different cities because they're saying they're holding their arms open on press conferences, saying we're a sanctuary city. We'll take care of you. And then when he sends them up there, they start complaining, right? And then they have no plan, so they're sleeping on police department floors and sidewalks, and kids are, sitting on paint buckets eating. It's ridiculous. So it's a lot of this is just a lot of bluster and talk.
Well, of course it is, but there's a real world implication, and you're right that the federal government's going to do what it's going to do, federal law enforcement. But it would certainly be helpful, and I bet a lot of Chicago police officers would like to be helpful to their federal counterparts if there's an ICE detainer on someone and they're not hustling him out of court and onto the streets before ICE can obtain that person and, in accordance with the law, repatriate him to his country. Just the idea of the lack of cooperation, sort of the flaunting of the lack of cooperation between law enforcement at the local level and the state level, for that matter, and law enforcement at the federal level. I mean, how does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it's the world we live in, right? And and some of these elected officials are tone deaf. I mean, the country just was one of the major issues why Trump was elected, was what happened at the border. People are sick of it, and they're sick of how much money we're spending on people that are entering the country illegally. So the fact that you're now saying that the police department isn't going to assist fellow law enforcement in picking these people up is disheartening, like very disheartening. But it's the world we live in, and again, it would be better if everybody cooperated and they assisted each other, because lives could be lost making some of these arrests, and we all need to work together. But if they don't, ICE can do it. If they do what I think they're going to do, there's going to be a lot of ICE agents out there, and there's going to be a lot of people picked up and brought back. But to your point, it would be far better if all law enforcement cooperated with each other. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, the world we live in by choice in places like Chicago and Cook County. You mentioned in passing the murder of Chicago police officer Enrique Martinez last week, and the family. The funeral is on the 18th. The family has indicated they do not want Brandon Johnson or J.B. Pritzker in attendance at Enrique Martinez's funeral. This has been going on now for 2 terms when police officers have been killed in the line of duty. The family sent the same message to Lori Lightfoot and Pritzker that they're sending now to Brandon Johnson and Pritzker. And we've sort of accepted that as a norm, but to me, I'm still sort of stunned by that. That speaks to the complete lack of respect that law enforcement feels from the civilian political leaders, and sort of the not very underlying antagonism between those civilian political leaders and law enforcement. And that shouldn't be good for those civilian political leaders, although they haven't paid much of a penalty, but it's certainly not good for public safety.
No, it's sad. I mean, look, it's that young 26-year-old officer gunned down the way it was, terrible, and everybody should be together, at the funerals and paying respect. But the Chicago Police Department, many members feel that the elected officials, including the mayor and governor, don't have their back. Whether that's justified or not, that's how they feel, and you have to respect it. If that's their feelings, that's their feelings, and you got to respect it, especially the families of these people killed in the line of duty. But there's a reason for it, right? So you see these COPA investigations, which are ridiculous, like the allegations they're making against some of these police officers, and they're trying to take their jobs. And I'm telling you, that union better step up and really, really start fighting these guys. I mean, because you got cops, chasing guys who draw a weapon on them, draw a handgun on them, and the police officer fires. That person's looking at losing his job. There's examples of that, right? We can go on and on. This poor police officer regarding the Adam Toledo case, right? Sad case, young kid, 13-year-old kid, gunned down. But, I mean, he's firing a weapon at cars in the middle of the night. Right. Police respond to ShotSpotter. He's running, pulls out the gun. The police officer doesn't know he's going to toss it, and he fires right away. And now they're still going after his job. Right. And at some point in time, the public and the union and everybody has to step up and say, wait a minute, whose side are we on? Are we on the gunman's side or the police officer's side who's just trying to save us? It is a game of inches. It is a game of seconds for these police officers. And when they're right, when they're justified in doing it, we all have to stand up for them. People have to speak up and stand up for them. I'm not talking about when they do bad things, and that happens, and it's unfortunate, and they got to pay the price for it. But in situations where they're chasing an armed gunman, the person pulls a weapon, they have to use deadly force. They have no choice. And so it's things like that are making families like this young police officer and these police officers killed in the line of duty say, don't show up because you don't have our back.
Yeah. Bob Milan, former first assistant state's attorney, Cook County, former assistant U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Illinois as well. Bob, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Great talking to you guys. See you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey there, Styles Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I am so excited to share that the movie I've been trying to make for over 15 years, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, is finally here.
Nothing is more important than our annual Christmas pageant.
The pageant is sacred.
But this year...
The Hermans are absolutely the worst kids in the history of the world.
It might be the first Christmas pageant in history where Joseph and the wise men get in a fight.
Now that's a pageant I'd actually like to see.
Based on the classic book, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is now playing. Enjoy.
Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
The instability of our economy after this election has many worried. Stocks and bonds could be the first to collapse. Gold has been a safe haven asset for generations. At Premier Gold, we specialize in helping those with a 401k or other types of retirement accounts convert their vulnerable paper assets into physical gold. Today, we'd like to send you a free gold election kit to help you decide if this is right for you. Call 606-800-8000. Premier Gold is not a financial advisor. Please consult with your advisor before investing. Call 606-800-8000.
All right, this holiday season, don't forget your Balance of Nature supplements, a proud supporter of this radio station for 10 years. Remember, gingerbread cookies, ice cream don't provide the fruits and vegetables your body desperately needs every day to stay healthy, happy, and energized. And that's why I've been supplementing with Balance of Nature for nearly a decade as well. It's so easy to open those individual capsules and dust them over a salad or mix them into a juice drink or warm water or a smoothie. That's how I do it. And thousands of AM 560 listeners love their Balance of Nature. Young and old, it's not too late to start. 6 capsules a day provides your body, your heart, and mind with several servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You will love it. Your body, mind, and heart will thank you for it. So celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Order your fruits and veggies today. And guess what? You use coupon code Chicago, you get half off, 50% off your first set. The number to call is 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751, or order online at balanceofnature.com. and use coupon code Chicago.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Our nation's economic problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight. Dr. Ron Paul here, and this is why I recommend diversifying your IRA or 401k into gold, a proven bedrock in any economy, with my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold. Text the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Billionaire investor and MAGA convert Bill Ackman has some newfound optimism about America's economic vitality and a specific proposal. We'll start there with our friend and economist Stephen Moore at 7:37.
But now let's head into that newsroom once again. Here's Mike Scott.
7:32, 41 degrees and gray skies. President Biden and President-elect Trump scheduled to meet at the White House today. The two will sit down together in the Oval Office. Senate Republicans are poised to select their new leader today. South Dakota's John Thune, Texas's John Cornyn, and Florida's Rick Scott are all vying to be the leader in the upper chamber. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson beginning his hard fight to retain his gavel. The first test comes today with internal House Republican leadership elections. Mike Johnson says there's a lot of work to do.
We have to fix everything. I told President Trump many times, and we've all discussed, we believe we could be the most consequential Congress of the modern era, and he the most consequential president, because we quite literally have to fix almost every metric of public policy. Everything is a mess. Everything.
In other news we're following here in Chicago, 2 were killed after a shooting in Chinatown Tuesday night around 10 p.m. A man was killed in a fire in Woodstock in an apartment building blaze. Around Tuesday night at 10:15, firefighters responded to the blaze in the 700 block of St. John's Road. Mayor Brandon Johnson is backing off his proposed $300 million property tax hike.
As a public school teacher, sometimes we do things to get people's attention. And so now that we have the attention of everyone, I've said from the very beginning, this is a proposal.
The mayor said he wasn't fully committed to the tax increase and doesn't plan to fight an effort today by aldermen to reject the property tax plan. Governor J.B. Pritzker expects the Illinois legislature to work on policies he believes will be aimed at countering anything coming out of the new Trump administration. Illinois Republican State Representative Adam Nieberg expects to be there to be a lot of meltdowns from Democrats in the upcoming veto session.
You're going to see the Democrats really give a lot of floor speeches. They're going to file a lot of legislation on the immigration issue.
Pritzker says he's in talks with his policy advisors and other Democrat governors about what to do. And the Bears are looking at another proposal, a potential site for a new stadium. Multiple reporting says the team is considering the possibility of a dome stadium on the old Michael Reese Hospital plot in Bronzeville. Fourth Ward Alderman Lamont Robinson.
This could be a great opportunity if we work side by side the community. And I believe that we can do this and create something that we all can be proud of.
Team officials have previously said the hospital site would not work because of its vicinity to Metra train tracks and other security risks. Chicago sports. Bulls take on the Knicks tonight. Bears fired Shane Waldron yesterday as offensive coordinator, and Thomas Brown will take over the offense for the rest of this year. College hoops. Northwestern earns a 83-74 win over UIC. The news, a service of Quick Delivery Service. When you need reliable same-day delivery to clients, Quick Delivery will customize a logistics plan to pick it up and move it safely to its destination. Trust their 40 years of experience for peace of mind. Get a quote today at quickdelivery.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Would you like to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2025? That sounds like a Christmas miracle, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what AM 560 The Answer wants to do for you. Go to 560theanswer.com/miracle to enter our Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest presented by Team Hochberg. Enter once per day, every day between now and December 20th, and you could have your rent or mortgage paid for all of next year. Go to 560theanswer.com/miracle.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, their U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
You know, maybe if I'm going on a long hike, several hours, I like to bring some Balance of Nature.
That's some good stuff, I'll tell you.
I've always was taught to eat very healthy growing up. My family was Italian and Greek. We had vegetables and fruits all the time growing up. I feel wonderful. I feel terrific. I love your commercials. I think it's a wonderful way to do this.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
7:39, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And this update on the roads, a service of our friends at Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Great coffee is their family tradition. Online at papanicholas.com. The Kennedy and Hour 13 O'Hare to the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike and Hour 8 390 into the old post office. Dan Ryan Express lanes jammed up 51st all the way into the Stevenson. Jane Addams slowing up eastbound Meacham to Route 53. Slowing up on the Reagan I-88. The toll road jams between 22nd and the Tri-State. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Cloudy, breezy, and 53 today. Breezy, mild, periods of rain overnight, low 50. Cloudy and 41 right now. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Some well wishes of a certain form from across the pond in England. The new Tory leader there, Kemi Badenoch, during Prime Minister questioning hour, pressed that wormy beta male, Keir Starmer, the PM there, and his foreign secretary about derogatory comments they made pre-election against Trump.
And so I would like to start by congratulating President-elect Trump on his impressive victory this morning. The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary met him in September. Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologize for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathizing sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order. And if he did not apologize, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf?
The Foreign Secretary and I did meet President-elect Trump just a few weeks ago for dinner for about a couple of hours, and we discussed a number of issues of global significance. It was a very constructive exercise.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister did not distance himself from the remarks made by the Foreign Secretary, and I'm very sure that President Trump will soon be calling to thank him for sending all of those North London Labour activists to campaign for his opponent.
It's fun. Prime Minister questioning hour is always fun. That's one of the things I witnessed her briefly. Has a piece in the Wall Street Journal along those lines as well. The excitement that is bubbling up in Western Europe, at least among conservatives who think that Trump can lead Western Europe out of its stagnation because of the high taxes and the confiscatory regulations and the administrative states that have stagnated those countries. She also, interestingly, after going through that, of those matters, she says, she writes, a free trade deal with the UK would benefit both countries. The deal would let Britons avoid tariffs. In exchange, the UK would increase defense spending, abandon net zero targets, and take a firmer line on China, the West's greatest threat. So there's a deal to be made in the direction of free trade, so long as those Western European nations, like Britain here, abandon the policies that have stagnated their economies and depreciated the quality of life in their countries. For more on all of this, we're pleased to be joined, as we are on Wednesdays, by Steve Moore, economist, author of the just-released The Trump Economic Miracle and the Plan to Unleash Prosperity Again, co-authored with Art Laffer. Steve, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Well, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. This has been an amazing week, and I did predict there in Chicago at your Freedom Summit that Trump was going to win a resounding victory, and boy, it's been an amazing week. I listened very carefully to that little brief interchange from the other side of the pond, and I forget who it was, said, oh my God, Trump's going to be a threat to the what was it, global industrial or global world order or something like that. And I thought, good. We need a little disruption in global. Well, things aren't going so well just about anywhere, and we need abrupt and jolting change. And Trump is going to bring that. And I'm going to make a prediction to you guys. I believe this is what happened when Reagan won his election in 1980. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is Ronald Reagan, but when Reagan won his incredible victory in 1980, it moved the country in a much more free market direction, it reverberated throughout the world, and all of a sudden you saw all these other countries in the world moving more towards free markets and less government control and away from socialism. And I think that could be the impact. And if that's disrupting the global world order, I'm all in favor of it.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's, leadership builds consensus. The situation on the Hill, what's your handle on the election for Senate Majority Leader today?
I don't have a really good. I mean, I know it looks like it's down to John Thune and maybe Rick Scott, and then John Cornyn.
Right.
I haven't talked to senators, so I don't have any inside information about that.
Do you have
Rick
a
Scott,
preference? Yeah.
Well, I mean, Rick Scott is a staunch fiscal conservative, and so I'd love to see him. But he also ruffles some feathers, and so he might not be selected. But I'm for Rick Scott in that race.
And assuming as it's projected that Republicans retain the House,
they'll win the House. Yeah.
So then, how fast, in your bailiwick here, you and Laffer and Kudlow and Forbes, how fast can Trump go on matters economic, and in which direction?
Well, I think right out of the gate, and incidentally, isn't it interesting, by the way, then you have all these close races, that are within, 300 votes or 400 votes, or, some of it, a few dozen races that are, within even less than that. And all of a sudden, the Democrats seem to always find new ballots. Have you noticed that? Oh, look at that. There's a ballot. There's a bag. I do believe, I know you have a lot of listeners in Wisconsin. I think there's a fear. Look, the entire night the Republican was winning that race, and by more than a percentage point. Then all of a sudden, the next morning they say, "Oh, he's won by 1,000." I don't know. When you had 100,000, I was told that in Wisconsin they had 100,000 so-called same-day registration voters coming in Milwaukee. That raises my antenna to think maybe there's some fraud going on there. But the Republicans will end up with probably 221 or 222 seats, and they will have a very slim majority. And it looks like that the leadership team there, I thought Johnson, under the circumstances, did a good job. I'm in favor of him being the Speaker of the House. And that means they've got the trifecta. They got the House, they got the Senate, and they've got the presidency. Don't squander this moment. I do think Trump really has a mandate. Incidentally, in our hotline today, you haven't seen it yet, Dan and Amy, because it just came out a very short time ago. Do you know what, by far, there was an autopsy of the election with all the exit polling data. Do you know what, by far, the two biggest issues were that swayed voters to Trump?
Immigration and the economy.
Well, you got it pretty much exactly right. Illegal immigration was number one. You're exact, and then number two, economy. But it was inflation, which is an economy thing. It's something Amy, you and I have been talking about every week for the last 3 years, and they never solved those problems. They never solved the illegal immigration problem. They never solved the inflation problem. Americans hate it when every time they go to the store, things cost more. They hate it that you go to McDonald's with your two kids and you pay $35. So that's going to be the top priority, Dan and Amy, is getting. By the way, we just got a new inflation report that just came out like 10 minutes ago. Inflation is ticking up again a little bit in the last months of Biden. So Trump has to get that border secure, and he's got to get prices back a level because Americans are sick of it.
Okay, so now back to my question, which you very carefully dodged. So what is, like, out of the gate? There's things he's going to be doing specifically on a number of issues simultaneously. When it comes to addressing inflation, what specifically are you urging him to do out of the gate?
Well, there's a big fight, Dan. I'm sure you've been probably following it, between Jerome Powell, who's the Fed chairman, and Trump. And Trump wants him out, And now I don't know if he's going to get rid of him immediately, but Powell he's saying what?
He can't get rid of him. So now Powell's.
Why? Okay. No, wait a minute. Hold a second here. Why? Why is it that the president can't fire the Fed secretary?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying what the law is. Now, if you want to change the law, then if that's going to be your first thing out of the gate, then okay. I mean, I don't think it should be, but
Dan, I think that is undetermined whether the president would have the authority to. We don't know that. And
I mean,
incidentally,
so is that the fight? Is that the fight you want first out of the gate, or do you want to do something?
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Well, probably not. It's just that I'm so sick of Powell's.
Well, Powell's terrible. I know, but you got to work around him.
Okay, so we're gonna produce more oil and gas, and we're gonna bring energy prices down, and that not only brings the gas at the pump down, but it also, because energy is a component of everything we produce, that's going to lower prices. We are going to cut government spending. I love this Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, government reform oversight commission. I love when Vivek said, I could cut $2 trillion of the budget, because when I took over Twitter, I cut 80% of the expenses. That's what you need, a Hoover vacuum cleaner going through the entire, all of the federal agencies and just, find all the waste and abuse and fraud. It's in the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. When you cut government spending, you reduce inflation.
The Bill Ackman, I wanted to get to him too as well. He billionaire investor who became a Trump supporter, even though he's a Democrat, had enough of his party. He's very optimistic about America becoming an economic powerhouse again. One of the things he suggested, I mean, he's for border enforcement, so let me just say that as the predicate to what he suggested. But he wrote, imagine if we could vet applicants who wanted to bring their talents and resources here in a 45 to 60-day process, as long as they met certain standards for excellence and character. This is not a particularly challenging problem, and that's before comparing it with catching a super heavy rocket with chopsticks, obviously a Musk reference. We could open the floodgates for entrepreneurs, scientists, engineers, makers, designers, and more who could replace the illegal migrants and those who have been consuming resources and bringing crime to our cities and towns. He believes that new skilled immigrants that are processed into this country in an orderly but expeditious fashion could be a force multiplier.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with that. And Trump has basically pretty much said the same thing. He keeps saying, we want people to come in legally, not flowing over the border. We don't know who they are. And, what you're talking about is what my buddy Larry Kudlow calls the brainiacs. And it is one of the keys of American success over the last 50 years is, all the smart people in the world want to come here. And that's why we've become by far the number one country in technology and artificial intelligence and robotics and social media. Why not? It's like, think of it this way. Imagine the Chicago Bulls, which aren't very good these days. But imagine every year the Chicago Bulls got every one of the top 10 draft picks. Gee, do you think they might win every NBA championship? I mean, if they could just select the best players every year, that's what we can do on an economic scale. We can bring the best and the brightest and the hardest working people to this country. And by the way, they don't have to be brainiacs. Just even the people working in the fields of picking our fruits and vegetables, the people who are, working hard in the kitchens and across the country and the restaurants. Those people contribute, Dan. As long as they're working and paying their taxes and, not committing crimes, that's what we want.
Absolutely. And I love your sports metaphor.
Oh, yes. Oh, I thought you can only use sports metaphors.
I'm giving him a special dispensation.
Real quick, Stephen Moore, who should be in charge of the Department of Treasury?
I should be.
Okay, that's the answer I was waiting for. There you go. You said
it. And then I'm going to take over the world. No, look, I think I love Scott Bessent. He's the one. It's between Scott Bessent and one or two others. He's my choice. I think Larry Kudlow should go back and head up the National Economic Commission. I want the A-team. And Trump does have a real talent for finding talent, and he does. And so it's going to be an exciting time. But I am not giving up my spot with the Dan and Amy show. I mean, Trump keeps asking me, would you run this agency or that? I said, no, I'm not giving up my Wednesday mornings working with Dan and Amy as your chief economist.
We appreciate your loyalty. Thank you very much. Our chief economist, Steve
Moore. By the way, when do I get my pay raise? It's been 3 frickin' years, folks. I am not getting a dime. Inflation is up by 20%, and my pay has not gone up one penny.
Our costs are up over here. We got to get economy. We got to implement the plan to unleash prosperity again and get things growing again. Then we can talk.
Will you please talk to the management there? Because,
Yes.
you know, I feel underappreciated.
Yeah, all right. We don't want you unionizing or anything. Steve Moore, author of Trump Economic Miracle, and the plan to unleash prosperity again. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Okay, and by the way, it was so fun seeing you guys in person. And Amy, you know, you and I are a great team. I don't know Dan, about Dan, but you and I are a great team.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
All right, thanks, Stephen Moore. So good seeing you, too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. My father was a union iron worker, just like his father, but while he inherited his father's skill, he did not inherit his tolerance for taking orders from union bosses. He needed a change, something that was his, something where he could call the shots. So he started a janitorial company. His company cleaned grocery stores and airplane hangars, dentist office and construction sites, hardware stores and restaurants. As his business expanded, so did the complexity of managing it, especially the taxes. Preparing tax returns requires records, and Dad just never got accustomed to keeping good records. That was a mistake. It cost him his business. Initially, I followed my father and grandfather and became a union iron worker, third generation. I'm very proud of that legacy. Now I'm a tax attorney. I help business owners protect what they've built. Fighting back against the IRS is personal to me. If you own a business and have tax troubles, fight back. Go to fightbacknow.com. That's fightbacknow.com, or call 312-664-6649. Become a freedom fighter today.
Ho, ho, ho! Time to check the list.
Hey, Santa, you're looking a little rosier than usual.
Yeah, big guy. Is your blood pressure okay?
Gee, I hope so.
You know, you should drink 120 Life.
Totally. 120 Life is a natural way to help control blood pressure without the side effects of medication.
It's a delicious juice drink and powdered mix with natural ingredients like pomegranates and tart cherries.
It tastes great and is shown to work wonders for blood pressure.
Ho, ho! Best put 120 Life on my list.
Try 120 Life yourself, risk-free, with a 2-week trial pack. Order now. Go to 120life.com and use coupon code CHRISTMAS to save 15% and get free shipping. They're so sure it can noticeably lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks, they'll give you your money back if you're not satisfied. Lower blood pressure is the gift that keeps on giving. Order now to get the Christmas special of 15% savings and free shipping. That's 120life.com. Use coupon code CHRISTMAS at checkout.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Keene Jr. of the Mail House, Inc., a family-owned and operated digital print mail house with a specialty in political advertising and a customer of Signature Bank. We knew that getting a loan to buy our business wouldn't be easy, so we turned to one of our trusted friends for a referral. She told us about the outstanding level of customer service her business received at Signature Bank since becoming one of their first customers in 2006. Today, we couldn't be happier. Not only did Signature help us finance the purchase of the mail house, but they supported our growth as we modernized our operations in mailing as well as from traditional to digital printing. If you're looking for a great bank to grow your business, take a look at Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, my God. CNN did an article about who is Governor Kristi Noem, and the caption underneath her picture is North Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. She's South Dakota Governor. Okay. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:08, that FEMA official who was fired, amazingly, somebody actually got fired, for telling aid workers to ignore homes in Florida with Trump signs after Hurricane Milton, defends herself, kind of. We'll hear her defense at 8:08.
And was it just in Florida? But now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
A Woodstock fire kills 1, a Chinatown gunfight kills 2, and the mayor backs off a property tax hike. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
A triumphant return. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President-elect Trump is back in Washington, D.C., meeting with House Republicans at a hotel this hour, then back to the White House for the first time since leaving office in 2021 to meet with President Biden.
This is the first time President Biden and Trump will meet in the Oval Office. Biden didn't get the invite 4 years ago. It's the first time they'll see each other since the debate in June. Since then, Biden has called Trump a threat to democracy and his supporters garbage, though the White House claims it was only one supporter. Trump has called Biden stupid and incompetent. White House officials say the president will give Trump his take on how he sees things, like maintaining support for Ukraine.
Fox's Rich Edson. Ukraine's capital has come under its biggest aerial assault from Russia in months.
At least 7 people were killed in Kyiv overnight. A barrage of drones and missiles also damaging buildings and energy infrastructure. All in all, Russia targeted 8 Ukrainian regions with 6 missiles and 90 drones.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Senate Republicans elect their first new leader since 2007 today, with Mitch McConnell stepping down from that role. A CIA employee is accused of leaking classified information assessing Israeli plans to attack Iran.
The defendant, Asif William Rahman, was indicted last week in federal court in Virginia on 2 counts of willful retention and transmission of national defense information. He was arrested by the FBI yesterday in Cambodia, now being held in Guam, where he's expected to face charges. The New York Times saying the suspect, quote, held a top secret security clearance with access to sensitive, compartmentalized information, which is typical for many CIA employees who handle classified materials. He could face 2 counts of violating the Espionage Act.
Fox's Todd Pyro. Consumer prices in October come in 2.6% higher than a year ago. That's up from 2.4% in September, the first rise in annual inflation in 7 months, looking at the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index. America's listening to Fox News.
It's 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Mostly cloudy skies and 41 degrees. 2 were killed after a shooting in Chinatown Tuesday night. Chicago police say the shooting took place around 10 p.m. in the 2400 block of South Normal. 1 victim pronounced dead on the scene. A second victim was transported with a gunshot wound to the shoulder and later died. A man was killed in a Woodstock apartment building Tuesday night. Woodstock Fire Rescues tells us they arrived around 10:15 to a fully involved 2-story apartment complex in the 700 block of St. John's Road. Heavy fire coming from that building. A key prosecution witness will return to the witness stand in the racketeering trial of former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan today. Fidel Marquez testified for a 4th day yesterday. And Mayor Brandon Johnson is backing off his proposed $300 million property tax hike. Mayor says he wasn't fully committing to that tax increase, suggesting it was just a tactic.
Sometimes we do things to get people's attention. And so now that we have the attention of everyone, I've said from the very beginning, this is a proposal.
Johnson's team doesn't plan to fight an effort by aldermen to reject the property tax plan at a city council meeting. The news service of Balance of Nature, fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Save 35% off your first preferred order with promo code Chicago. Order online at balanceofnature.com as a preferred customer. Hurry, offer ends soon. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street will be reacting today to an update on inflation, the Consumer Price Index for October. Former Walmart executive Mark Lowry has a deal to buy Grubhub from European food delivery company Just Eat Takeaway. The deal values Grubhub at $650 million. Grubhub was purchased just 3 years ago for about $7 billion. Lowry has a business called Wonder that operates mobile kitchens. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has sold $1.2 billion worth of Amazon shares. His sales are pre-planned. Spirit Airlines could be in bankruptcy court within weeks. The Wall Street Journal says Spirit is in discussions with most of its bondholders. The airline's merger talks with Frontier Airlines have ended. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
We have so much to be thankful for this year. Our family, our friends, our nation. And it's important that we take the opportunity to give thanks for the many blessings in our lives. That's why AM 560 The Answer wants to make sure you have a turkey on your table for Thanksgiving this year. We're giving away Butterball turkeys. To enter to win, just go to 560theanswer.com/turkey. That's 560theanswer.com/turkey.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, it's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
I'm going to let you in on a little wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile have convinced you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data plus hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say spend less, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 844-47-BIBLE. That's 844-47-BIBLE. 844-47-BIBLE.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility come crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898. That's PROTECT to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
$8:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center Time, a service of Trim Lights Chicago. Don't let hanging holiday lights get you in a Scrooge mood. 'Tis the season to save time, money, and energy with permanent programmable holiday lighting for your home. Get your free quote today at trimlight-chicago.com. Outbound Edens, you're jammed up Montrose to Church. Inbound Kennedy, it's an hour 10. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Ike on the inbound side, an hour 20. 390 into the old post office. Stop and go on the outbound Stevenson between the Chinatown feeder and the Dan Ryan merge. DuSable Lakeshore Drive jams up southbound Wilson down to Fullerton. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's AccuWeather's Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy and breezy, the high 53. Periods of rain, breezy for tonight, low 50. Clouds, a stray shower, breezy day tomorrow, the high 53. Plenty of sunshine on Friday, the high Friday afternoon, 56. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
41 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So, best practices for FEMA when responding to a hurricane, internal communication. Best practices for FEMA include, for FEMA workers, avoid high salt diets and coffee. Frequent breaks and drink water. Bring a towel with you. Communicate and follow the rules. Not go anywhere alone. Okay.
Okay.
Coconut water is a fast way to replenish your electrolytes quickly.
That's true. That's true.
Best practices.
Marathon runners know that. Yeah.
Right, and of course, avoid homes advertising for Trump.
There you go. Bingo.
Don't help them. This is internal message that was obtained, I believe, by the Daily Wire from whistleblowers inside FEMA that were on these text chains from leadership. Whistleblowers told the Daily Wire that relief workers were told it was best practice to pass over houses advertising Trump. The workers would enter into the system that they made no contact with the residents, blaming the directive, quote, Trump sign, no contact per leadership. Well, that's true. That happened in Florida after Hurricane Milton, and the person responsible, apparently, for sending out that message was a woman named Marn E., the traditional apostrophe between the N and the I in Marnie. Marn
Common spelling.
E.
Yeah.
Washington, and she was actually fired, shockingly. I guess it probably wouldn't have been if the whistleblowers hadn't provided the evidence that was made public and forced FEMA to act. But anyway, they did. So she's gone for now.
She wrote an email, right? I mean, did she put out an email to her staff?
About what?
About skipping Trump homes.
I just read the text message.
I know. But
and so now she went on Roland Martin's podcast, of all places, to defend herself of sorts. If you call this a defense, if you can make out a defense or an explanation here, then you're doing better than I am.
I was notified after I demobbed. The next morning, they told me verbally I was fired, but they never provided me anything in writing stating that I was fired. They all alleged that these actions were made on my own recognizances and that it was for my own political advances. However, if you look at the record, there is what we call a community trend. And unfortunately, it just so happened that the political hostility that was encountered by my team, and I was on 2 different teams during this deployment, they just so happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation. So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas. Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports. They will substantiate what is happening to us in the field.
So what she's saying then is that FEMA followed a policy of avoidance for groups who show a, quote, community trend of hostility. So actually that means that even more homes with Trump signs were possibly avoided. Because this is not just, she wasn't just picking what she was seeing. She was saying this is a directive, as what sort of the text message indicates. Any Trump advertising you see anywhere, don't help those people because there's a community trend among Trump supporters towards hostility against FEMA aid workers.
312.
That's her story.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You could also text us on that same line. But remember when President Trump, or then, when he was running for office and he was saying Trump supporters are being ignored. And it was on the front page of the New York Times. And what Trump was saying was actually true, and it was actually happening.
Well, right. But now you have to address the claim that they were ignoring those Trump supporters, not because they wanted to. not out of a political difference of opinion, but because every home with a Trump sign or advertisement of some sort was the residence of somebody who was hostile to FEMA. Does anyone believe that? You see FEMA aid workers coming to help, even if they're a bit tardy, and you're going to be hostile to them. Maybe there's some complaining about where have you guys been. Do you think that was limited to Trump supporters, or was it probably a similar reaction among all residents in places like North Carolina in particular, and Florida, some areas of Florida that get hit by Milton as well, which is what we're talking about? Do you think it was probably like, so what can you do? Where have you been? Here's what I need. Do you think it was just sort of a general human response that you get from people to FEMA aid workers? Or do you think there's something unique about the Trump supporter response to FEMA workers to the extent it was uniform, which is another assumption I reject? Fascinating. It's not her fault. She was just trying to protect her people.
She was doing what she was trained to do. I mean, and how long have they been doing this? I mean, it's blatant weaponization of government, but that FEMA director should lose her federal pension benefits and be prosecuted. I mean, because according to Donald Trump Jr., what's happening in one of the worst areas that was hit was Bat Cave, North Carolina. And he tweeted out that was with the hardest area hit, and they had barely seen anyone at all from FEMA.
Well, we don't really understand the scope of this yet. We have this one person who was fired. Was this just this person and the teams that she was a part of, or was it system-wide so that it was in Florida and Carolina and Georgia? We don't know. Marie in Kenosha.
Hi. Just want to let you know that, okay, so FEMA is a federal agency, so the workers are federal employees, correct?
Correct.
Okay, there's the Hatch Act. Federal employees are prohibited from doing any political activity while they're working.
Don't tell me that. Tell Marnie Washington that.
Yep.
Yes, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Marie. Mary in Palatine.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I seem to recall a recent Democrat presidential candidate who said, I never asked anybody whether they were a Republican or a Democrat. I only asked them, are you okay?
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the call, Mary. Dan in Wilmette.
The FEMA person never mentioned anything about a police report, which should have been filed at any hostility. So they're just making it up. There's no evidence of what they're saying.
What, you don't take her at her word?
No, I would like to see some evidence. It's the newest thing.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Dan. Yeah, I mean, if it was such a dangerous environment, then precisely. Please detail it. The other thing that would be interesting is to hear from all those people that were on that text message that was made public and whether or not they were seeing and feeling the same thing. Clearly they weren't, because there's some whistleblowers who came forward to make sure this got out, and she was thrown out. So there was probably a difference of opinion about this community hostility that Marn '(I)E Washington was seeing. Kevin, Austin, Texas.
I love how this FEMA worker has flipped on their supervisors already. It kind of goes with Sean's thing that they're a bunch of government gangsters. So I think they keep the pressure on. And then when the two Bobs, Ramaswamy and Musk, go into efficiency, I think they should attack these people the same way, because they're going to start flipping on each other and pointing the finger. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, and one other thing. In the spring, Wisconsin Supreme Court elections coming up. Very important. So
yes.
Stay involved, Wisconsin.
Yes. Thanks for the call, Kevin. I like the two Bobs. I mean, the memes of Vivek and Musk as the two Bobs. It'd be interesting for them to do a sit-down with Marnie Washington and talk to her about the work she's been missing lately. Dan and Amy, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
Dan Proft here for my friends at Low T Center. If you're frequently tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait, find out. At Low T Center, they make it easy to get your levels checked. It's a simple test, and with their on-site lab, you get your results back right there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and this is super important. Their personal treatment plans are optimized for each patient. These aren't just basic standard treatments. For established patients, they also offer a convenient physician-monitored at-home treatment plan that ships directly to your home each month without the need to come in for weekly visits. And at Low T Center, you can get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications as well. So get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to do that and book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, their U.S.-based restoration specialists will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
All right, listen up. If you have chronic pain, if you're waking up yet again this morning with an achy joints and just pain due to arthritis or an injury, pain in your knees and your back and your hip and your shoulder and your elbow, you don't have to have surgery or take medicine. You should contact our good friends at QC Kinetics. What is that? Well, it's regenerative medicine. It is cellular treatments for that joint pain led by Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this technology. That's giving people like you an option other than surgery. Folks, it's an all-natural approach that harnesses your own body's healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain or pain due to injury. Everybody's talking about it. QC Kinetics joint pain treatments are life-changing for so many people. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real, lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Learn about all of it when you call QC Kinetics to schedule your free consultation. Yes, it's free. Saturday appointments available. The number to call is 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics. Call them today at 312-809-5955.
For anyone with everyday aches and pains, I've got a question. What are you missing out on? Probably a lot. So let me tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In about 3 weeks, you'll discover what it's like to feel better. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
I'm going to let you in on a little wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile have convinced you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data plus hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say spend less, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
All right, if you have a kid going to college soon, you're going to have some sticker shock problems when you see how much it is. So you want to be prepared, and paying for college and avoiding long-term student loan debt has never been more challenging. That's why attorney Ray Kaplan at Kaplan Law Firm is here to help you and your family make informed decisions and plan smarter for college by navigating and understanding all available student loan options. Don't do it alone. Set up your family for financial success. Plan college expenses together with attorney Ray Kaplan at Kaplan Law Firm. Schedule a consultation today, 312-294-8989, 312-294-8989, or you can fill out the contact form online at financialrelief.com. That's financialrelief.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I love it. Everything that people say on the television about it is absolutely true. As a matter of fact, my boyfriend, who knows some of my Balance of Nature, he went and bought his own now.
I've been taking it for a pretty good while now, and I really like it. It makes me feel really good. I feel like I'm taking a product, that's not some kind of gimmick.
I've been a very happy customer. I think it's wonderful stuff.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sports and politics and sports and politics and sports and politics and intersection. Arrogance and ignorance, arrogance, ignorance, and arrogance and ignorance. Intersection.
It's not always the intersection of arrogance and ignorance. In these happier times, we have happy stories to report from the sports world. Like Dan Lanning, who is the head coach of the number 1 rated Oregon Ducks football team, not taking the bait to be pulled into politics. He's not going to go Greg Popovich on you. And in point of fact, if you can read between the lines, I think he might be MAGA.
Something non-football related, but I believe it was last year you spoke out about gun violence. There was a decision made in this country that I'm sure affects a lot of the players in your locker room as well as the women in your life and the women on your staff. What was sort of the temperature in the locker room or with your team as a whole after that, the results were in, and was that something that sparked one of those get real conversations?
Yeah, our guys just work. They just work. So obviously, gun violence is something I've been passionate about. But that our guys just line up and go to work every single day. I'm glad to be in the country that we're in. Certainly proud to be an American, and excited about the future of this country. But I'm not one to hop into politics.
Front left, James.
Excited about the future of this country, though. And also, this is sort of a feel-good story. Lions kicker Jack Bates, after he kicked the winning field goal in that Sunday night comeback, Lions against the Texans, kicked that game-winning field goal in Houston. He knows why he kicks, one could say.
And just recently you were a brick salesman. You thought you were out of football. So what does this mean to you to come back and do this in your hometown area?
I think it just shows, how good the Lord is. He's so faithful, and man, my story is, if anything, I just hope people can see Jesus through my story, and that's what I think I'm here to do is not make or miss or be a good kicker or a bad kicker, but spread the love of Jesus. So, hopefully I'm able to do that on the stage I'm given.
Awesome.
How about that?
Sounds like a Hollywood film in the making, doesn't it? Or
Especially
maybe a
if-
Hallmark film.
Well, maybe if he kicks the winning field goal in the Super Bowl and delivers a Super Bowl title to Detroit, that could be. And on the other
Kurt
side
Warner.
of the ball. Yeah, right.
He worked
on
at
the
Hy-Vee stocking the shelves.
And on the other side of the field, too, C.J. Stroud, the quarterback for Houston, I mean, he's been very outspoken about his faith to a very humble and extremely talented young man. So, it's not all bad news out of the sports world either.
Bring you back. Are you doing any fantasy teams this year?
No.
You took a
No.
break again?
But I'm excited about college basketball. We had that tip-off classic yesterday with Michigan State and Kansas, and then Kentucky beat Duke. That's I'm excited about the college basketball season.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:38, the chef and owner of Foxfire and Copper Fox in the Western Burbs has been targeted for elimination, or at least his businesses have, for the thought and speech crimes of not being a leftist in Illinois. Casey Gulbro joins us at 8:38.
Can't wait. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
It's 8:31. 41 degrees and gray skies, and President-elect Trump is on his way to meet with President Biden at the White House. Their get-together comes as the president-elect is working to fill key posts in his upcoming administration. Here's Fox's Rich Edson.
Since winning the election, the president-elect has been down at Mar-a-Lago building out his... This will be the first Biden-Trump meeting since their debate in June. Biden's rough performance led to Democrats pushing him from the top of the ticket. Today's White House visit is a traditional meeting between incoming and outgoing presidents. Trump never extended Biden an invite in 2020. The White House refuses to say what President Biden will discuss, but that the image of the two presidents together sends a strong enough message. Biden's national security advisor Jake Sullivan previewed the meeting on CBS. He said the president will warn that abandoning Ukraine means more instability in Europe.
Melania Trump has declined the invitation from First Lady Jill Biden to visit the White House. Elon Musk and former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy will lead the new Department of Government Efficiency, dismantling government bureaucracies and restructuring federal agencies. The admitted Pentagon leaker will spend 15 years behind bars. Former Massachusetts Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira was sentenced in a Boston federal courtroom yesterday for violations of the Espionage Act. 3 Iraqis who suffered abuse at the infamous Abu Ghraib prison are being awarded $42 million. The prison, operated by the U.S. military after the 2003 invasion of Iraq, was thrust into the spotlight after revelations of abuse at the hands of private American prison handlers. 2 were killed after a shooting in the Chinatown neighborhood Tuesday night. The shooting took place around 10 p.m. in the 2400 block of South Normal. A man killed in a fire in a Woodstock apartment building. Fire broke out around 10:15 Tuesday night, according to Woodstock Fire and Rescue in the 700 block of St. John's Road. And a key prosecution witness will return to the witness stand today in the racketeering trial of former Illinois House Speaker Democrat Michael Madigan and his co-defendant at the Dirksen Federal Building. The Bulls will try to get back in the win column when they visit the Knicks at MSG tonight. The Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron yesterday. Thomas Brown will take over. College hoops, Northwestern a win over UIC. Also last night, Northern Illinois took down Monmouth, and Illinois State earned a win over Ohio. The number 20 Fighting Illini host Oakland at Assembly Hall tonight. The news, a service of Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of Ad Properties, Christie's International Real Estate. Experts in the northwest suburbs and Chicago with over $800 million in sales. You'll get the most value for your home. 708-828-0000. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I love it. Everything that people say on the television about it is absolutely true. As a matter of fact, my boyfriend, giving him some of my Balance of Nature, he went and bought his own now.
I've been taking it for a pretty good while now, and I really like it. It makes me feel really good. I feel like I'm taking a product, that's not some kind of gimmick.
I've been a very happy customer. I think it's wonderful stuff.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss out. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Let's get real. Did you wake up this morning with joint pain? Does it hurt doing the most routine activities? Have they told you it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, QC Kinetics can get you there. Folks, it's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Learn about all of your options at QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. QC Kinetics. Call 312-809-5955.
8:38. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And this update is service of Ready Whip. Topping off a dessert or swirling it into hot cocoa, Ready Whip is here to whip up some holiday cheer. Ready Whip is made with real cream. So pick up a can or two of Ready Whip. Inbound Kennedy right now, 90 minutes, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. An accident has been cleared in Will County, northbound 55, right at Route 113. Delays on the outbound Stevenson between the Chinatown feeder and the Dan Ryan merge. And the Tri-State jamming up northbound between Ogden and the Ike with a slow ramp to the outbound Eisenhower. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy and breezy, a high of 53. Breezy and mild with periods of rain overnight, low 50. Currently 41. Your next news update at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We brought you this story yesterday. It's rather a remarkable example of the essential nature of these neo-Jacobins. A woman named Martha Paschke, who is an alderwoman for the city of Geneva, and others are and have targeted businesses in the western suburbs who they believe are aligned with Trump or Trump candidates locally. They want them, boycotted and closed. They want the notice distributed of what owners of these restaurants and businesses are doing, what their employees are doing. In fact, according to Next News Network, which tweeted this all out, it was Paschke, who also is apparently a city employee for the city of Aurora, put together an actual spreadsheet with Fox Valley businesses listed and the reason for their targeting. For example, Napleton's Chevrolet in St. Charles. MAGA-adjacent candidate signs in 2023 municipal. Their crime. Movable Feast in Wheaton, we've talked about. Trump MAGA sign, MAGA attire worn by staff/owner.
Oh, my God.
It's horrific. Yeah.
I need a safe space.
Foxfire in Geneva. Owner sued Illinois State/JB for shutdown. Had Kickstarter for legal expenses, but after reopening allegedly used it to buy new equipment. Also owns Copper Fox. Well, to answer these thought crimes, we're pleased to be joined by Casey Gulbro, who is the chef and owner of Foxfire and Copper Fox in Geneva. Casey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
So I remember we either, I can't remember, did we talk to you or we talked about you, Foxfire, when you challenged the shutdown, Pritzker shutdown during COVID, which was excellent. You were part on our hit list for our Rebel Diners, where we were getting groups together to go dine at restaurants that stayed open and defied the governor's lockdown orders. But this is it your understanding this Martha Paschke, one of the elected officials in the town which you have a business, is behind this?
It's my understanding she's an admin on the site that put our name and a lot of other restaurants on there to boycott. That's our understanding that she's part of this group.
Have you ever had any interaction with her?
Not to my knowledge. I don't. We're in the first ward, but I'm sure we've been in passing.
Okay, well, I mean, has this hurt your business or has it helped your business?
It shocked my business, actually. When I woke up the other day to see it, it was just, I was taken aback because of seeing that we were on something that alderman in our town was promoting on, I guess, their site. It was, I was taken aback. It just came out yesterday, so we did get a lot of support yesterday after we posted that we were kind of hurt by it because we've done nothing but support this community and this town from when our fight with COVID. So it just hurt.
Have you talked to other businesses on their hit list here?
I do talk to a couple of them. A couple of them are angry. Some of them are just shocked. And, the sad part is, too, I had other businesses saying to take my post down because it was political. And I said, no, we were being under attack. I just want to tell people, hey, we're part of the community here. We're just trying to do business and do what's right. We've always done that.
How long have you been in business, sir?
We've been here for 21 years.
Mm-hmm. And how quickly is this spreading through the community? Are you getting reaction or hearing reactions from this Martha Paschke woman's fellow elected officials, or have you heard from the city at all?
I haven't heard anything from the city yet. It'd be nice to just say, hey, we don't stand for that, or hopefully it's taken down. But I haven't heard anything from the city or from her. I've heard from people that might know her that say that it's it's sad that it's happening to us. We've even had some people that are on the other side of the aisle that came in that say we don't stand for that. We don't stand for the woke politics. They can't believe that they went after somebody that does so much for the community, like the restaurants in Geneva and St. Charles.
Well, and I mean, and it's particularly obnoxious and chilling to come from somebody who's a local elected official. So how is that going to, her political beliefs, obviously, the question of how that informs, what she does as an elected official, as a public representative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad because you'd think that small town politics would be getting the city to be promote the city and help it grow and prosper, not take a side on some of these things, and that was sad.
I mean, was there much consternation? I assume there's probably like Kamala and wall signs in Geneva and probably some Trump signs. I mean, this is not like of any particular surprise, but I mean, if you go down the spreadsheet, I mean, there's no suggestion other than illustrations of people providing their support publicly for either candidates in this race or candidates of a particular party. I mean, Dean White, who's the Republican National Committeeman and owns for the state of Illinois and owns a fence company, he's on the list too. So it's just basically like if you're a Republican or you support any Republicans or you support any candidates that are supported by Republicans, then then you should then you're going to be targeted.
Yeah, and then to say that the lie of we allegedly used our donations to buy equipment, when I had my lawyer actually comment on the post saying, no, actually, thanks for your donations, those funds went to fight Pritzker. So that was it's harsh. And then knowing Fearless Fence and knowing a lot of these guys too, they're great stand-up people that only believe in America.
Well, is there any plan to fight back somehow or try and find a candidate to run against her?
That's probably maybe where we throw in. We hopefully the elections come up soon and we put our money where our mouth is, I guess.
Yeah, right. And your employees at the two restaurants, I assume they have like similar reactions to the business owners. They're surprised, shocked, upset.
Yeah, and we don't push our views on our employees. We believe everybody should have their own voice, and we talk about things quite a bit. When we sued the governor, we went to our employees first and said, hey, we want to, we'll fight for you if you want to be open. We'll do what's right by you. We won't do it if you don't want us to, and they all agreed to do it. So we do take our employees' lives seriously. We love them. They're our family, and that's to go after them, too. It's like we're just all here trying to get by in this economy right now. We're all just trying to get by in this community and be it's just sad.
Yeah.
And they were shocked by it because it's something that we haven't been in the news much since 2008, since the pandemic. So it's they were like, wow, why are they doing this now?
Well, that's one thing you never have to worry about Jelly Belly doing. He's never going to boycott a restaurant. Casey Gulbro is the chef and owner of both Foxfire in Geneva and Copper Fox. Copper Fox is in St. Charles?
No, it's in Geneva as well.
Oh, it's in Geneva. Both are in Geneva.
Mm-hmm.
All right, two owners in two restaurants in Geneva. You think maybe the Geneva elected officials would want to weigh in on this, and the elected officials in other towns where restaurants and businesses have been targeted. Casey Gulbro, thanks so much for joining us, and everybody check out Foxfire and Copper Fox in Geneva.
It's my honor. Thank you so much, and God bless you for what you do.
Thanks. You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you looking for a trustworthy garage to keep your Dodge Ram 45 or 5500 Cummins engine in tip-top shape? Look no further than Remke's Garage in Marengo. At Remke's Garage, their experienced team treats every car like it's their own. Plus, they believe in transparency, no surprises, just honest service and fair pricing. Check out the incredible reviews that satisfied customers have left on Google as they speak for themselves. With state-of-the-art equipment and a commitment to quality, they're proud to be your local choice for automotive care. And here's the best part, they offer free pickup and drop-off for your convenience. Both individually owned and fleet vehicle programs available to meet your needs. So why wait? Swing by Remke's Garage today and let them get you back on the road with confidence. Visit Remke'sGarage.com. Remke's Garage, repairing America.
Dan Proft here for my friends at Low T Center. If you're frequently tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait, find out. At Low T Center, they make it easy to get your levels checked. It's a simple test, and with their on-site lab, you get your results back right there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and this is critically important. Their personal treatment plans are optimized for each patient. These are not just basic, quote-unquote, standard treatments. For established patients, they also offer a convenient physician-monitored at-home treatment plan that ships directly to your home each month, so you don't need to come into the office for weekly visits. And at Low T Center, you can get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. So get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. Your business and your money are in good hands with Signature Bank. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Jason Zenger, owner of Zenger's Industrial Supply and host of the Making Chips podcast, and a proud customer of Signature Bank. Through rapid growth, acquisitions of competitors, and taking over from the previous generation, Signature Bank was there with us every step of the way. Recently, the team introduced us to FinRails AP, their proprietary system for accounts payable automation. Not only did FinRails AP help us to reduce costs and create efficiencies, but it also helped minimize fraud risk. Now, our company can invest time into what we do best, supplying industrial products, metalworking tooling, contractor tools, and safety supplies to those who make, build, and create great things for our country.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right. This holiday season, don't forget your Balance of Nature supplements, a proud supporter of the station for 10 years. And remember, gingerbread cookies, ice cream, food you go and get through the drive-thru. Not going to provide the fruits and vegetables your body desperately needs every day to stay healthy, happy, and energized. That's why I've been supplementing with Balance of Nature for nearly 10 years. I love it. I look forward to it every morning. Open up those 6 capsules into warm water and drink it, and voila. 6 capsules a day provides your body, heart, and mind with several servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables. You can smell them. It's just the best. Can't live without it. And we're celebrating this season with Black Friday savings all month long. So order your fruits and veggies today by calling 800-246-8751. Use coupon code Chicago to save 50% off your first set and free shipping when you sign up as a new preferred customer. 800-246-8751. Call now or order online at balanceofnature.com. Use coupon code Chicago for 50% off.
$20 million. No, it's not the national debt. It's the buying spree at Fox Valley Coins. And it's on from now until Thanksgiving. It's really the perfect storm. Gold and silver are at historic levels. Fox Valley Coins has a huge order to fill with one of their national clients. And September through Thanksgiving is always when coin dealers stock up for Christmas sales. They are especially looking for the old collector coins like silver dollars, all 1700s through early 1900s coins. All kinds of gold, from broken jewelry to gold bars to the old coins, U.S. and foreign. All kinds of silver, from sterling silverware to old coins and bars to Franklin Mint items. They can pay cash or check and make house calls on larger deals prior to Thanksgiving. Fox Valley Coins, 1 light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make free, no-obligation offers. Make that 20,000,001 reasons to go to Fox Valley Coins now. They give free in-store offers on your items.
I love giving jewelry as a gift. Roland's Jewelers is the perfect place for that magical holiday gift. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. Roland's Jewelers is the absolute perfect place for the magical holiday gift for someone you love. Buying jewelry is about trust. Roland's is the jeweler I trust. I'm a customer, and I'm always amazed by their 5-star Google reviews, so many of them, but why not? They're the best. They're family-owned. Hey, getting engaged? Roland's has a large selection of mined and lab-grown diamonds at great prices. Choose from beautifully crafted engagement rings from designer Simon G. or Italian designer Roberto Coin, offering stunning diamond pendants and earrings. How about a Tag Heuer watch with cutting-edge technology? I love mine from Rollins. I continue to be impressed at how expertly trained their staff is. Visit Rollins Jewelers in downtown Libertyville or RollinsJewelers.com. That's Rollins, Rollands, Rollins Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust, just like I do.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, people have asked when Gruppenführer Martha Paschke is up for re-election in Geneva. It appears that she was not up until 27, but the municipal elections this spring in Geneva should nonetheless provide an opportunity. You know which officials are aligned with who and which parties, even if they're quote-unquote nonpartisan. So to send a message to Martha Paschke's group and anybody who runs interference for her rather than condemns her and her cadre of droogs for targeting local businesses because they had the audacity to support a candidate that she doesn't support.
I mean, they're who the hell do they think they are? And maybe they should try and find God or volunteer or do something better for the community than going after people who voted for Trump.
Maybe some people should also, and I know some people are going to, contact Richard Irvin and the city of Aurora to ask about her employment there, since she likes targeting people who disagree with her so much. That can go in multiple directions, can't it?
It's worth a phone call.
I did retweet the spreadsheet yesterday, too. So that spreadsheet of businesses is a great little, if you live out in the western burbs from Wheaton to St. Charles, a great little something you can laminate and keep with you so you know which businesses to patronize when you're looking for something to eat, to buy a car, to get your car serviced. There's all sorts, get a fence. There's all sorts of businesses and service providers listed on that spreadsheet, so check it out and pass it on. Tom in Barrington.
Hello, Dan and Amy.
There he is, the man who founded the Rebel Diners.
Yes, Tom. We love you, Tom.
Well, and boy, Geneva's going to rue the day, and the Freedom Chamber. And Foxfire is a chamber member, and we're going to come back full force and support them in every way possible. This is just the manifestation of people who are in ontological shock because they've been lied to and they swallowed all the lies and they just cannot handle the truth. Well, we're gonna bring the truth, Dan. I'll be in touch with you. We'll do we'll hit Geneva next week, I think, with a couple of locations. But also, if there's any business owners that are listening and want to join a community that is going to fight for you, that's the Freedom Chamber at freedomchamber.net. Sorry for the plug, but we're gonna come back and make a difference.
All right, let me know too, Tom, because I'd love to go out to eat with you guys.
I will, Amy. We'll let you know, and we're this is it's so unfortunate. Their own community, their own citizens, and but that's the left for you.
Well,
hate
that's right.
has no home here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure that signs in Martha Paschke's yard too. Thanks for the call, Tom. Right. I mean, that's what they do. They're parasitic. They feast like parasites do on the productive. And it's just, I mean, if I'm a business owner in the Western Burbs, even if I'm doing well, I'm just like, what are we doing here? I mean, if I'm not being shut down and by the governor during COVID and being talked down to on a daily basis by elected officials at every level, then I've got these, private bands of Jacobins trying to put me out of business through, collective action. Great place to locate, raise a family, open a business, expand a business,
Free
right?
minds.
Yeah. And it'd be really interesting. Especially suburban. I mean, the suburbs are dominated by Dems now, too. There's very few Republicans left. Anybody that would come, rally to the defense of these businesses just on the principle of freedom of expression and the phrase that they love to throw out, agreeing to disagree.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. We agree to disagree. Lots of text messages. Dan and Amy, I sent an email to Irvin yesterday. Another one, I just emailed the office of Richard Irvin about Martha and asking some specific questions about what the city of Aurora represents.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah. I mean, she can mess with them. We can, she's trying to take away someone's livelihood.
It's a
Stop
street
it.
fight.
Yeah.
It's a street fight.
And they started it, so let's go.
We need street fighters. That's right.
All right. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning, part of your lives. Thanks to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy. Have a wonderful day. It's now 9 a.m. WIND Chicago.
Back in D.C.,